Hello and welcome, friends. You're watching round 3 of season 3 of the People's League, featuring a matchup between SAS and FEB. SAS comes into this week with an 0-2 record and eager for their first win of season 3, while FEB is looking for their second win to get to 2-1. My name is Caparzo, and today I'm joined by King James as well as Killa in the production booth. We'll also have special guest RazBora and TheFreshBakedGoods who will be joining the TPL stream shortly. James, these two teams, this matchup, what comes to mind? How you feeling coming into today?
I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I know that FEB is a new group. They're up and coming. They've rebranded. They're one of our up and coming South American clans. So be good to see one of them come up and be a force to be reckoned with, as well as SAS. They've been around a while. They're just now growing to be able to compete on their own. They've been in coalitions in the past, so it's just two up and comers. So yeah, should be a good matchup.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling too, James. I played against SAS and Void when they were in a coalition last year, and they were some really great players, and some of the clips that they sent me afterwards for use in my video after that match were really, really fantastic plays. So I know a lot of those guys, and I know what they're capable of. So whenever you're removing yourself from a coalition too, obviously you have to fill in those extra members, but I always felt like a coalition was a hard thing to accomplish in this sort of competitive setting where you have maybe different philosophies of how the team wants to run.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I've seen some of those coalitions work, some don't. Just as you said, it's because, the different philosophies.
Yeah, and a South American team with FEB primarily based out of Brazil. There is some differences in regionality in terms of what people like to do during the matches. So I always like to see how maybe a different group plans on tackling the same sort of situation that maybe a North American or a European or Aussie clan might do differently. So that's the best part of the People's League to me, is seeing all these different groups and how they play the game that we all love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so for today's match, we don't we're still getting everyone in the servers and burning the matches and all that, but what would you like to see today here, James, for a map? What's your favorite clan war map for the People's League?
Man, if you got good armor on both sides, PHL can be a banger. But if it's if one side that's lacking a little bit on the armor side and they're more tactical with their infantry, then get you St. Marie is a great match.
Yeah, I think we were just talking before we went live here, but I personally love the beach maps. I love playing on them. I love watching videos of clan matches on the beaches, but that American side can be so hindered by the tank disparity. If you get one good tank crew and you want to dedicate them to just sitting on the beachhead, and if you're not prepared to deal with that quickly, you can just be completely without armor for most of the match. So if it wasn't for that, I'd like to see that a lot more, but SME or SMDM, I think, are some of the best ones you get. The Carentan are great too, especially with a point like Town Center where it's just a disaster of a meat grind. So a little bit of different flavor for everything, and that's what kind of keeps this console side frustrating and interesting. Is both teams have no idea what kind of game they're in for when they log on that morning.
Exactly, and even if sweet, we got Carentan, but what points? What are we
exactly.
dealing with?
Exactly.
Canals and all that in the north, or we're dealing with everything wide open in south. You just don't know what you're going to run into.
Yeah, and then you could have little things like, maybe Town Center is the middle point, but you have ruins on one side and customs on the other side, which offer completely different defensive experiences. A team could really defend customs with maybe 9 infantry members and maybe a medium tank, whereas with ruins, if you lose Town Center, I mean, the enemy is a stone's throw away from your strong point, and that can make things a lot more difficult as a team that has that defensive point. So, you really can never plan on these things, and I think that's what kind of has everyone thinking on their feet and building out plans for each of these permutations.
Absolutely. Then everyone's got a plan. Then the first shot's fired, and then it's adapt and overcome.
Yeah. Everyone's got a plan until their garrison on the point goes down from a bombing run. That's that's what I would say for this game in particular. But why don't we take a look at some of the standings so far while we still wait for this match to kick off here? Let's take a look at the Atlantic North first. This region has Taco, WRTB, HLLE, LEP, and 9May. So some really, really good teams here. Taco right now running away with it with 2-0 on the season. WRTB pretty close behind at 1-1. And then obviously the HLLE and 7th rematch that still needs to happen that will be rescheduled for this weekend. But just to take a quick break from that, we have the Fresh Baked Goods who has joined us now. So welcome, Fresh. Glad to have you. How you been?
Good. Thanks for having me, man.
Good. Yeah, of course. So you're a little bit of a veteran at this point. You know, it's your second TPL match. So
so much experience.
Hey, you got more experience than I do.
Yeah. This is King James, Fresh. He's gonna be on the call with us today. But
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that we don't have much in terms of improvements on the console side that make this any easier. So the same level of jankiness and sort of Frankensteinness that you've seen in previous ones is still present here. But, you know, we're still doing it. And, you know, we have our biggest season yet here in the People's League with all these different clans from different regions participating. So we have FEB today, who is a primarily South American clan, Brazilian. And then we have SAS, who's primarily from the UK.
Very cool. How'd you guys get to these two teams? Was there a bracket system, or how did?
Yeah. So we have different regions, and you know, preseason the league officials will break out everyone into certain regions that make sense based on where time zones that you'll most likely have to play. So we have an Atlantic North, a Atlantic South, and then a Pacific North and South region as well. So they're based on, you'll play your division a certain amount of times, and then you have your interdivisional matches that are scheduled for later in the season once the seeding becomes a little bit more apparent.
Gotcha.
And I also want to extend a warm welcome to RazBora, who's also joined the stream. Raz, good to have you again. Welcome back.
Hello. How are you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Glad to have you back. We saw you playing some Squad 44 this afternoon. I was in your chat a little bit.
Yeah, man.
It's just a change of pace from Hell Let Loose. We're kind of at a stagnant point in terms of the update cycle of Hell Let Loose.
Yeah, man. Squad 44 just got a couple of good updates. I still think I like Hell Let Loose better, but it's a cool alternative to jump into. And if you're a War Thunder fan or someone that likes like a lot more hardcore milsim, that's your game, because there's so many more vehicles, so many more weapons, factions than Hell Let Loose. It's just a lot different. It's a totally different game, and it's very, very slow compared to Hell Let Loose. And Hell Let Loose, if it's slow for you, I mean, that's slower.
Yeah. I mean, I find coming from more fast-paced games like Call of Duty and Battlefield before finding Hell Let Loose is like the perfect intermediary between those things. Like something small like the pinging system, like that's such a quality of life thing when I'm playing a game with my friends and I just want to point someone out to them. Like with Squad and those more milsim games on like the Arma side of the spectrum, I find myself getting a little bit frustrated with the lack of like the milsimianess of it.
Yeah, man, it's super fun. I mean, I love the sound design more in Squad 44 than Hell Let Loose. Like, it's so much. And
the armor mechanics are a lot more refined there too, compared to Hell Let Loose, which is rock paper scissors for the most part.
Yep, exactly. It's very much a like fully built out ballistics armor system.
So yeah, for today's match, they're doing their burn match right now, and hoping the next one might be a warfare, we might be good to go. But while we wait on that, we were just kind of like talking about some of the considerations going on to the team, how these two teams match up. So just to give you guys some color here again, SAS comes into the season at at 0-2. So they're a team who has been in TPL before. They played with another team in a coalition, and this is their first year going at it as a full team of 50. And then we have FEB, who is brand new to the People's League, and they are at 1-1. So these two teams match up pretty well. They haven't played each other, but they have played the same team. So both of these teams played Void, and SAS lost that one in 85 minutes, 5-0 on Carentan. And then we have FEB, who played Void as well on Hurtgen, and that went the full 90 minutes at a 3-2 stalemate at the end.
Nice.
So overall, pretty evenly matched. I mean, both those matches went pretty long, so that's those are certainly competitive matches, and it'll be interesting to see how they play here.
Absolutely. Do you think any of these teams are looking for a specific Warfare map in particular?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that before, like James and I, where you really can't plan on playing any map in particular. There's certain maps that you know you're not going to play, but I think most people would agree that teams hope for the French maps, Dumont, SME, Carentan. Some teams really like playing maps like Foy if you have good armor, like why wouldn't you? But then you have the maps where it's like, okay, we'll play it, but no one will probably really like it, which are, the PHLs and, even like Kursk sometimes that'll get played. And, people will play it, but it's definitely, you have to play it in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the console rotation's like these days. Do you guys get certain... Yeah, I mean, what kind of maps are you guys getting out there?
So
that week's been rough. Let's just say that. It's been
a
whole bunch of Drell and El Alamein. They were doing a bunch of testing, trying to help us, because we've been having a lot of crashing issues on the Xbox side. As in, like, I had a match last weekend in TPL Lite, and every one of my squad leads crashed at the same time at one point. As most of us are on Xbox. As soon as we capped midpoint, all my squad leads crashed same time.
Yeah, so they tried.
Things got a little spicy for a while after that.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter in the the official Discord chat for the game where people were, trying to make people aware how prevalent that issue is for the Xbox users. And I'm on PlayStation, so I don't experience it as much, but it is frustrating when you're trying to organize these matches and you're doing so much to get it to happen, and then you have someone lag out at a critical moment and potentially really hurt your team. So they were trying to experiment with taking certain maps out of the rotation, putting certain maps in just to see what maps cause it the most. But that also resulted in us playing Driel and El Alamein for pretty much a week straight at this point. So they changed it yesterday, evidently, or supposedly, and we'll see if it's we get a good map here right away.
I know. I'm waiting for El Alamein Warfare to pop up next.
I will say last night playing the rotation was pretty good. We did get El Alamein more often than we normally would have, but we played for 5 or 6 hours in my group, and rotation was pretty good. It did a lot, bounced between a lot of the Normandy maps, didn't see Drill once, got a couple Russian maps, so it rotated pretty good.
Now you guys have skirmish on a separate rotation, right?
Yeah, that's a whole separate option.
Good.
I wish we had the same thing for warfare and offensive, but that's I guess was too tough. So we're ending the first burn match here. So this was an offensive on Kharkov. That was where everyone was getting into the match, and so potentially the next one will be warfare, and we can only hope that it's a good map. But speaking of rotation lately, I ended my night of Hella Loose last night with a back-to-back Ramagan, and that was my sign to get off last night.
That's brutal.
Can be fun, but twice in a row, that's too much for me. How did you guys enjoy the new map that was on PT? Did you play it at all? Yeah,
Mortaine's good, man.
That's really good.
Solid. Did it get updated a lot since the last time I played it, Fresh? I didn't play this last one.
Yeah, but... I mean, a lot more of the buildings were enterable, and then
that was one of the big
urban part,
feedback.
less clean, more lived in, which is pretty cool. And then they did some various fix-up around the map. But it plays. I mean, it was great when I played it. I saw no issues. It plays so differently than the other maps. If you're a tanker, it's going to be one of your favorite maps. They made it so you can drive through almost everything. So you're not getting stuck. It's great. The trees you can go through, which is really interesting because it's a lot of cover, but you're easy to get around. So tanks can really pop up out of nowhere. It made it really interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it played great, and the points seemed fun, and I think it'll be a mainstay. The elevation changes are what really sells it though, and makes it different than everything else. It's kind of a mixture of like Hill 400's elevation changes with like SMDM or SME's hedgerow warfare. It's pretty fun.
That's great. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to some of your videos that after release of you in the tank on that map. I think it'll be a great addition to the rotation for the console competitive scene too, because I mean, since Curse, and some people don't play that map, but we have not had a single new map that's been competitively viable. So I think that'll be a huge breath of fresh air.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it'll be the first map in a long time that majority of players want to play.
Great. But we unfortunately got Jariel here as we were talking about the rotation. So I would imagine they're just going to burn this one as quickly as possible. And then we'll be on to seeing maybe the next one will work. But I guess we could get back to some of the standings just to fill, Raz and Fresh in here, as well as, any of the viewers out there that might want to know where we're at in the season. So we do have 4 divisions across 2 conferences. We were talking about the Atlantic North earlier, which is comprised of Taco, WRTB, HLLE, LEP, and 9May. So this is a very, very strong division. A lot of these teams are extremely experienced. HLLE is one of the best teams in the league, certainly. But I think Taco has been the big surprise this season for that division. 9May also, Raz and Fresh are a primarily Russian Eastern European clan. So they have been very impressive. A lot of the stuff that they do is very reminiscent of like what PC does for their competitive scene.
So
Interesting.
With both these teams being on like opposite parts of the world, I don't know how it affects console very much, but is ping going to be an issue wherever the server's located or anything? Do you guys find that it affects much of the gameplay?
It affects it some, but what they've done is they're playing on a server that's in US East. So
Gotcha.
there is going to be high ping, but it should be pretty balanced between both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like both sides around 200 ping, which not ideal, but it's most of the time when I play on EU, I'm at around like 160 or so. We'll see how private servers fix that. Or not private servers, but server browser.
It should help some, get some of the congestion off some of the servers, possibly. I think that's a lot of the big issue with honestly, that could be a lot of the issue with the crashing on Xbox. It's just congestion on the servers. If we want to get back to that conversation or not.
I think everyone's exhausted of that one at this point. Yeah, we've had speaking of 9May, I think we were saying a little bit before we went live, they've been a big we almost had like a big upset last week with 9May taking Merc, who is a very experienced clan who's coming off a very big victory in round 1. They took them 90 minutes on I think it was Carentan as well, but it was a very intense change of hands objective at the last time where Merc started capturing the point back around like 3 to 5 minutes left. I might be wrong about that, but those matches are always extremely intense, and I love those so much. It's rare to get those anymore.
Absolutely, and going back to Taco, that being 2-0 really surprises me. They were a TPL Light team just last year, and they came in second there, so it's a solid group, but I didn't expect them to come into main and do as well as they are at all. I expect them to be a middle-of-the-road team. Not great, not bad, but start off the year 2-0, it's great. So,
Yeah, and just to fill in Raz and Fresh there, so TPL Lite is a subdivision of the main league, and it's intended for maybe smaller clans that can't get a full 50 every single clan match. So it's a 30v30, but the 20 are filled by randoms because we can't like lock down a server. So it kind of creates that little bit of chaos. And King James's clan is part of the light side of the league, so. You know, he was telling me a little before that some of the chaos there, where you just kind of hope you have at least one blueberry on your team who knows what he's doing and can at least communicate with you, so you can say, "Hey, drop supplies" or something like that.
That sounds kind of fun.
honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a good mix of chaos and being organized. It's turns into a interesting match at the end of the day, no matter what happens, because you're just got so much going on at once.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always hard working with those blueberries too. On during a clan match too, they're playing at a level that they're maybe not used to seeing all the time, and you know, you kind of want to herd the cats a bit, but that's easier said than done, as anyone who's played this game long enough will tell you.
It's gonna be pretty awesome though, just an end play for one of those random players, and all of a sudden you see the quality of gameplays like increased greatly.
Yeah, you're like, I have all these places to spawn.
Yeah, and then they go back and play them a regular average match, and they're like, "What the hell happened there?"
There's 8
Yeah.
garrisons, a half tracker 2, and OPs up at all
Everybody's
times. What?
talking. What?
Yeah, you can't go back after that. It's you have to just like get involved in something more organized. Have you guys seen the game on PC get you know, the quality of play like increase as maybe some of like the PC Game Pass people like leave, and you know, the people who ended up sticking around?
Yes and no. It all depends on 2 things: what server you're on, and then what time of day it is.
Mhm.
Like usually the best quality games are always going to be weekdays after work, US Central Time. So like, you know, 5 p.m.-ish Eastern is when they start kicking off. And that's when you'll find the good quality games. And you just have to make sure you're in the right servers too. If you go to like a new players welcome server, it's probably not going to be as good as like a clan server or something. But yeah, I mean, nowhere's perfect. It's you just have to find the right place at the right time, and just kind of go there over and over again.
I'm curious to see how the private servers, when added to console, will, you know, impact your experience.
So, I mean, did they clarify? Did we ever get a clarification if it's going to be private servers or just server browser?
I've only heard server browser, which is, you know, a little disappointing, but it's such a clear-cut thing to me to allow, if you have a server browser, theoretically, you know, you can establish new servers and you can make people pay for them and have some sort of ownership over it. For us, it would mean the world. Like, I can't tell you how important that would be, especially like if we had like an admin cam functionality. Like all this sort of Frankenstein stuff we're doing here, like, goes out the window. Sure, we lose maybe the first person view that we're able to like bring people into, but I think in a game like Hell Let Loose, it's less about the individuals and more about like how the team is working together, and that's where like admin cam is great. But you know, it's pie in the sky, but if it ever happens, it would bring new life into this game and into this league, certainly.
Yeah, I agree. I hope you guys get all the tools in the world.
I mean, yeah, I mean, based on our conversation with the devs prior, it sounds like when they enable that setting, it'll be the same way, and theoretically they can turn a switch and it'll be crossplay between both platforms. They kind of have that already in a sense with the Xbox Game Pass being added to PC Game Pass. But I imagine that it'll be very similar, if not exactly the same, where you could rent a server.
I hope so. That would make everyone's lives better.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense because it's like one of those things where either it launches when the server browser is added, or it launches at a later date after the server browser. But nonetheless, like, that is obviously the one thing people want is the ability to have a server and, you know, the admin cam and all that stuff. So it would make not a lot of sense where they would just kind of half-ass it, in my opinion.
No,
You
no, I
never know.
100%. I always like when these sort of things get brought up, maybe the players that aren't in clans or aren't in leagues and everything like that, they're like, oh, you know, there's just going to be servers that I'm like locked out of essentially, and it couldn't be further from the case. You know, that these like Fresh said, when you're looking for a good game, you want to be on the clan servers at a certain time when they're populated, because these are people who are, you know, playing the game the right way and, you know, having fun playing the game that way. So it's not just for people who are in part of like a certain community. It's everyone will benefit from it who wants to play the game, you know, the way that it's meant to be. And I think it for the life of the game and for the player base that's so dedicated to it, it would be just a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you'll just have a more consistent experience overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
which is the best.
Playing on unmoderated servers, you guys are just insane to me. I don't know how that
it's so
works,
wild,
dude. Yeah, I don't know how that works for you guys.
Well, the vote to kick system is pretty powerful for us. I will say it is a big help when there's someone like being very blatant, but yeah, being able just to come right back if you wanted to is obviously a problem.
Yeah, no, I think that it'll change your whole experience for sure.
Yeah, it's so much better. I can't stress that enough.
They actually did find a way that this is like a new way that has kind of been going around the league of how to force a new server, and it's like this ridiculous sequence of like inputs where you invite someone at as like an Xbox player, you invite a PlayStation player, and then switch your settings to cross-play off, and then have that person accept that invite, and then search for a match, and then it'll create a new server for you. It is very, very convoluted. I mean, it's not that convoluted, but the fact that that works and we've been using it to success is just, you know, a microcosm of hell let loose.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing to me is playing without the ability for people to get banned. I mean, that's just nuts to me.
Yeah, I mean, you can get banned from a server on console, but it actually needs to be team kills that'll get you banned. It can't just be like vote to kick to get that.
You know what you got to do again, Fresh? Ryan just sent me the doc. Like kind of on the same topic of private servers, like custom events. You know, like.
Oh yeah.
They have the or are they getting started or?
No, this is another burn here. This is Remagen offensive. Yeah. They'd be lunacies to play this one.
But yeah, the go-karting. We did like a Mario Kart private session, so cool. Or like our tank only sessions that we run. I think people would really enjoy like a tank only game mode and a private server on console.
Oh yeah, I mean people hit us up about that the tank events all the time asking.
They've been filling up,
on
right?
Console. Yeah. What's up?
They've been filling up pretty often.
Oh, dude, they fill up within a couple days of announcement. Yeah, we could probably doing it like every week if we want to.
What do you guys do? Just like only armor, like 3 against 3?
No, it's 6 against 6, mediums only. Mediums only. So it's we do it like usually once every other month now to like keep the hype up, but it's a private event. It's 18 versus 18. Commanders always an admin to spawn tanks, but it's medium tanks only to spawn and fight over the midpoint only.
That's great.
Can't go past that. So it's just like all out tank warfare. It's pretty cool. And since it's mediums, it's kind of a little more dynamic than heavies. They get, you know how they operate.
Yeah, they're so much more consistent.
Yeah, so it's turned out to be quite a hit, and we've done I think 5 of them now. So we'll be going on to the 6th one. Probably end of the month. We don't have that all sorted yet, but people seem to really like it. It's kind of like word is like got out about it. You know, it's like the last one we had like 4 tanks of 1 clan that managed to get in there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there's a lot of comp guys that come out of the woodworks to play it just because no one else is really running anything like it right now.
That's not surprising to me at all. I spoke to one of like the team I'm on now. One of the tankers was talking about how his favorite part of playing Hell Let Loose competitively is that initial medium tank battle for middle point. He's like it's the purest thing in the world. It's you versus a medium, and whoever wins that fight is probably winning the midpoint fight. He's like, then every moment after that is like the most stressful nightmare part of the game for me. But he's like, that beginning part is so just pure, and you know, I'm not surprised that clan people are interested in that, or comp people are interested in that, because that is, you could play tank the way that, you know, is fun, not the way that is meta.
Yep. I mean, that's the way, God, them years ago now, that kind of taking Hell Let Loose was before 1.0 launch or whatever. When it was just spamming tanks nonstop. They were all pretty easy to kill except for the Tiger. Good old days.
I still really wish Hell Let Loose gets into the more dynamic tanking. It's got like, I appreciate the approachability, but I do wish it was a little more dynamic. With weak spots, I think would be the best.
Yeah, just more skill in shooting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty like, outside of some quirks with certain tanks, like, you know, the spots where you can, you know, hit the Lux from the front with the bazooka and it pans, like stuff like that really isn't. It's like skillful, but it's not maybe intended.
It's more.
It's just,
you mentioned it. It's just rock paper scissors.
Yeah,
basically, which can be frustrating at times because it's just kind of like a little silly. But I mean, most tank battles are like one shot and that's kind of it in real life. But still, it would be nice to have some tanks be a little more dynamic. I think speed is something that is really frustrating to me, because Hell Let Loose was very slow. If you look at a game like Postscriptum, Squad 44, like every tank is viable and it kind of really solidifies into its own role. Where Hell Let Loose, like the recon tanks, they're kind of recon tanks. Like they can scoot around a little faster, but not really. In Squad 44, I mean, they haul some freaking ass. Like they're so fast.
Are they just as easy to take down as in Hell Let Loose, or?
No, they're all compartmentalized. So you can kill.
It's easier to die in that game because you can kill crew. So it's like,
you can get shot inside of it. But I mean, the tanks move so fast. Like you just don't stop. It's insane. Like you could probably get from one end to the other in like on a Hell Let Loose map in like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. It's like stupid fast. They are
zooming,
ridiculous. Yeah, like the Puma is stupid fast. They're so fast they jump off berms and stuff. It's crazy.
I can't imagine if they were that fast in Hell Let Loose. The game couldn't cope with it. It just would not be able to comprehend that sort of speed.
I remember hearing stories that they messed around with like the physics, not the physics, but the speed of tanks with like the current physics, and Hell Let Loose being Hell Let Loose, the faster they made them go, they started like fly, like take off.
Yeah, they have no gravity.
Yeah, so it's like in classic Hell Let Loose fashion, you gotta solve like 5 problems just to do something simple.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
That's what always worries me about the updates, where it's like, we fixed this, and it's like, all right, now you can't mount machine guns, or you can't bandage, or like we had the glitch a while back that was, if a spotter placed a garrison, it wouldn't be spawnable on. It would just like, you'd wait 40 seconds and then you'd wait another 40 seconds. It just wouldn't work. Like that always worries me whenever there's like a big update, but thankfully that's been pretty good lately.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
We do have the new updates. What is that? It's supposed to be at the end of this month, or
end of this month? Fingers crossed. I don't think they've confirmed anything.
I think they said late. Thought it said late or early May. I could be wrong.
I keep getting told late April. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say or not, so I'm not gonna say anything. But
well, I know they said late April in general chat, so I know that's the thing. Like I saw Greg say that in general, so I know we can.
Okay.
That.
Okay. I have no idea. Yeah, legitimately, I have not.
That's the only reason why I'm saying it is because I saw it say it in mess hall.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of different stuff they're working on, so I'm hoping the future of Hell Let Loose will be cool. But this update seems to be more so just centralized around, I believe, Mortain, right? Yeah. Mortain will be in that update.
And then whatever the SMDM stuff they got going on. I mean, I played that briefly in the PTE.
I heard that was pretty awful.
I mean, apparently, like I only got through one hedgerow, but apparently the hedgerows on SMD. Hopefully it's not every map, but the hedgerows in SMDM were like way thinner in the PTE, and you could like shoot through them like the old days and stuff. That was kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I'm sure it's going to be some sort of optimization with like the Mortain assets. I think one thing people don't understand is how different Mortain like foliage is. The foliage on Mortain is unlike anything you've seen in Hell Loose in the past like 3 years. Like only the people that have played it since like alpha stage, like the original, will notice the difference of the foliage. They'll be like, "Holy shit! It looks like old Hell Loose."
I mean, the
like,
map
looks good.
The map in general, it's like you could tell this is the first map being like designed by new devs. Like you're like, oh shit, this is way different. Like it's kind of nuts. I know a lot of people thought the British was Team 17, but that was still Black Matter when it first came out. But yeah, I mean, this is like when you jump into this map, you'll see it's very, very, very different than all other Hell Loose maps. Just the way it plays and looks. It's definitely a new team.
Yeah, and I mean, it's again surprisingly like a very solid map. Like I really enjoyed it when I played it, and I'm really excited for everyone else to try it out and see what it's like.
I think that church middle point, the chapel, I think that's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, that was some of the most fun I've had fighting over a point as infantry in Hell Loose in a long, long time. It's just stupid fun. It's the way
I really enjoyed the city too. There's a city portion that looks really good as well. And I think that a lot of people like that aspect of it too.
Yeah, that'll be perfect for offensive mode.
Yeah, a lot of what I saw so far. I'm definitely excited for what this map is going to bring to the game, and just a little bit of more of what people love and a little bit of something new too. That's what kind of it seems like to me when I saw like you guys' videos in particular of the map, what it's going to be like.
Agreed. I think it'll be cool.
There was some concern when we heard about the foliage change, because I know some people really are let's say enthusiastic about being inside bushes and shooting from them for extended periods of time. So I know that was like worrying some people. Where it's like, oh my god, are they taking my cover away from me, my concealment?
Nah, there's still plenty of hedgerows.
You're gonna have more like bush trees than ever. I think.
Oh god,
the bushes in between the hedgerows are what you need to worry about. That's just like you'll have guys just sitting in that. But then again, it's no different than climbing the hedgerows and some of these get in there. It's typical stuff. But I wouldn't say it's any worse than. I think Hill 400's personally worse.
I think Drill is worse.
Yeah,
I think Drill has some of the worst.
I would say
it's on par with Drill.
Yeah, Hill 400, you can just go prone anywhere on that map and people won't see you.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I was dealing with that last night.
Yeah. I think Mortain is like as bad as Drill when it comes to hiding in hedgerows.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world for sure.
Yeah, like you
mean,
can see people, but
cover, I would say on.
Yeah, a lot of good hedgerows, a lot of I don't know. I think overall Mortain will be cool. I think it's like really interesting when you get in the middle of the map. There's a lot of foliage, and the tree line is really kind of cool because the trees themselves are not too tall, but the leaves on them are tall enough to where you can stand up and you're almost like in an entire canopy of trees, but you can still see people pretty easily through the tree line underneath. So it's really neat.
Yeah, I think we've been missing a lot of that like foliage that I think the player base really likes on the French maps with some of the new maps that have come out. Like personally, I like Stalingrad a lot in terms of what the map offers, but on console it's just so unplayable because of the Xbox people crashing out. But I think that is like its own.
That's still happening? The Xbox thing?
Oh yeah. It's I think some players would say it's worse than ever. It's pretty bad. I know there's some people that are doing data collection around it within the client community, like collating this data around when these crashes happen, if it's map dependent, if it's people joining on you or whatever it is. There's a lot of theories out there, and everyone's trying to figure it out, because then we want to like let Greg and the Team 17 people know so that they can look into it and maybe fix it. But it's been unfortunately more of the same.
Interesting. Yeah.
we'll see if like private servers make it better. You know, I think about the people who aren't in clans too, because when they lag out of games, probably, or crash out of games, they probably don't have someone in that same server that they can join back on. They're just like, okay, that's it now. Like, they're not going to get back into that game. Like, that sucks. And, you know, you want to be able to finish these matches. If you're playing a really, really fun match and it's like 80 minutes in and it's coming down to the wire and then you crash, that's kind of sad. Oh, goodness.
Hopefully the crashing issue is still happening. And the stuttering, too. I know it's just like, I knew that was an issue. I think it went away for a while, and then I think it came back. Like, gee, the stuttering is terrible. I also noticed on console, everything moves so slow. The vehicles move a lot slower on console, which is so bizarre.
Yeah, we unfortunately pulled an El Alamein here too, so this is gonna be another burn match. So speaking back to the rotation, yeah, we went from Driel to Ramagan to El Alamein.
Oh man,
so we're not doing too great.
Offensive, regular.
This is warfare, so it pretty much guarantees that the next one's going to be offensive, and then.
Is it always? It's always like the same map twice.
Not always, but lately I've had it happen more than it otherwise usually does. So, I mean, it's whatever. It would have been nice to get like a nice Saint Marie right there, but it wasn't in the cards. Yeah.
And they only do warfare.
Yeah, only warfare.
Gotcha.
So like the next one is probably going to be offensive, which makes this one even more like demoralizing to get, because you just realize, okay, now we're going to have another one after this that we're going to have to go through.
Console is pain.
Yeah, it's I wish that the next time you guys came after last time we'd be like, oh wow, we had all these improvements, but it's exactly the same as it was.
It's frustrating. Dang.
Yeah,
you just have to go through all that.
Burn for an hour and a half, play a game for an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you're lucky, an hour and a half too.
Yes, this might be a pre-game show for me if we keep going like this, and I don't know if I'll be able to stick around and comment on the whole game.
It's all right. You know, we know that it's never a concrete like, oh, we can say we're starting at this time, but I hope that it'll end up working out. Do you have that tank event tonight, Fresh, or?
No. I just can't sit around for hours and hours.
Oh man. Well, on that note, let me take a quick break. I'm gonna grab a little snack, and I'll be right back.
All good. James, so what's next for the 5-rib guys this season in light? Who do you guys have up next?
We have one SBS on the 27th.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, we got them on the 27th, and we only have 5 rounds in light. There's less teams, and our final game will be up against DECE. That'll be round 5, and then that'll set us up for the playoffs, and that is just a 2-round single elimination setup, semifinal to the final.
Man, best of luck with you and the guys there. I mean, I'd like to cover like a light match sometime for the stream. I think we can offer a different perspective on those matches, especially with the chaos that you mentioned of those blueberries.
Well, yeah, no. I definitely think it would be a much different show. We also don't have as much restriction on burns, just because you can't burn as efficiently when you've got 20 people that aren't necessarily on the same page. So most of the time, we just ban the maps that have the worst performance mode issues, and then play the other ones. So you could get an El Alamein comp match or a Stalingrad comp match or something like that. We try not to, but we just put a different time on the burns, just so we're not there for literally 4 hours waiting on it.
Yeah, we Fresh, we had to reschedule one of the matches last round because of just not being able to get an acceptable match. It took a very long time, and we eventually just said, okay, we'll reschedule to another time because everyone couldn't just keep doing it.
Yeah, that's rowdy.
Let's see.
I guess I'll always give you guys props for the amount of effort you guys got to put in this to make it work. It's pretty insane.
As long as everyone knows what they signed up for when they get involved with this, so that's at least the bright side, is that this is a life we all chose, and this is what we need to do to like have these sort of games that we like. And with not having moderated servers or you know server browser, getting good games on like a weekday basis isn't a guarantee unless we like organize an event. So these weekends and these matches, and obviously a little bit of bragging rights too, make it kind of all worth it.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
Barza, who do y'all have next coming up?
It's tomorrow is the rescheduled of the HLLE match that was what that we were talking about just earlier. So yeah, it's hopefully it'll be much easier. I mean, I think we reduced the amount of restrictions in terms of the maps that are eligible to be played. So you know, I'm hoping we just get in that muster match. It's an offensive, and then the next one we roll over to is a warfare, and we're good to go. Because I think both these teams are looking forward to this, and you know, no one wanted to like you know have it end in a forfeiture or whatever.
Right. No, nobody wants that. I want to get games in, but that's for sure.
Yeah, and Killa just let me know that the next warfare will be a go. So we have the next match is going to be offensive in all likelihood, but they will play any warfare that follows that. So I hope for the best that it will be a good one, and it won't be like a Remagen where one side, you know, the middle point isn't the bridge or something like that. But it'll still be a good one, and you know, hopefully it'll minimize the amount of time that we're all sitting here waiting for this match to kick off here. So thanks for everyone for continuing to bear with us. You know, your frustration is our frustration. We're all dealing with the same thing. So we'll see what that'll end up being. But you know, that's kind of goes back to what you said too, you know, Fresh earlier, where how does the regions impact it? Like that's a potential impact here too.
Oh yeah, if it's,
you have SAS in Europe, you know, they have to go to bed. You know, some of these people have, you know, kids, wives, families. They can't be playing this video game all night or not playing this video game.
And that's what we're trying to hope for in 2 weeks when we have our match against 1SBS. Is they're Polish, so they're Central European time. A lot of my group is, you know, Central and Western U.S. So you know we're 7-8 hour difference time-wise. Yeah. So it's we're starting. I want to say at 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't quote me on that. It could be wrong, but so that's add 6 hours to that here for them. Plus take 3 hours away for some of our guys. We've got a huge gap.
Yeah, I distinctly remember in like the early seasons of the People's League, playing some of the Australian teams, waking up at, you know, 7 o'clock in the morning and being like, all right, time for a clan match. Just, it's very, very difficult to get yourself into that mindset so early in the morning. But thankfully, because of these burns, you start to wake up a little bit by the time it starts. But hopefully that won't be an issue for too much longer now.
I will have to shout out 11th. We like to scrim with them, and they're good. They'll play at 11 a.m. their time, which is 8 or 9 p.m. for us, depending on what the daylight savings time situation is.
What servers do you typically play with them?
Asian. So
Asian.
It's rough all the way around.
All around, yeah.
When El Alamein first came out, how much of a lag situation that was. We played them on Asian servers. I mean, it turned out to be probably one of the most sweaty games I've ever been a part of, but for all the wrong reasons.
Everyone's just like stuttering around the map and like, you know,
everything's rubber banding. Shots aren't hitting. I had more knife kills, I think, that game than I ever have.
Yeah, that was that's what Raz was talking about earlier. It's like the vehicles are slower on console just because they'll start rubber banding. I mean, sometimes I'm like, all right, we lost like all the garrisons. I'm gonna jump in a transport truck and just try to like get something up. And then you go in the transport truck and it's like, oh my god, it's faster to walk because this thing is just going all over the place right now. So I mean, that's the kind of thing that hopefully will be resolved once the people can choose their server region and stay in that server, and you know, you'll be able to kind of not have so many people from far away connecting to the server and increasing the server load. I don't know if that's how it works, but it can't hurt.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right.
I know we had one bad update on the PC a couple updates ago where it was everything was rubber banding.
They really got rid of a lot of the rubber.
What was
stutters and the rubber banding.
What was the term they used? Like the world rebasing or whatever? Was all
Yeah.
I remember that,
Yeah, I don't remember. That's above me. But yeah, that was the only time we experienced something on a consistent basis.
It was bad when I started playing the game around like October 21. There was a lot of issues around the comms in particular. Like you would start a new match and like the comms would just be gone from the last match. And that's one thing that was fixed very quickly, thank God, because that was so frustrating where you'd start the match and just like all of a sudden you can't talk to command chat or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. VoIP's always an issue. It used to be way worse, but yeah, I don't think it's ever been not an issue.
There was a time that one of our guys. Hey, you remember Captain Adam? You remember that whole thing?
Oh yeah, that happens still occasionally. I've gotten that a couple times.
It's like so weird. He I can't remember exactly what happened, but basically he was somehow tied into the command chat on the other side. Yeah, and he's like hearing him like call out like, "Oh, there's a tank, like there's a panther." He's like, "No, it's not a panther, it's an IS-1." And they're like, "No, it's a panther. He's in whatever square." And he's like, "Wait a second," like, and then he started putting two and two together, and they were all people from the other team. And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm listening to the other team the whole time."
I've heard of instances like that on console. I've even seen instances where someone will spawn with the other team, and like that is ridiculous. But I've heard of like prox chat, never command chat though. That's insane.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah, VoIP is just messy.
There was a time there was a bug where at the beginning of a match, once in a while you would have someone spawn their HQ, like the opposite team's HQ.
Yeah.
That's 2 or 3 of them. Our guys end up doing that end up being like a muster or something. So it wasn't that big of. It wasn't like it was a beginning of a match. It was we were mustering and it happened. I want to find the clips of it. It was pretty hysterical because once they realized what happened, he dropped a satchel and ran off, and all sorts of shenanigans happened.
That's all you can do. So, Raz, I don't know if you heard earlier, but we said the teams agreed that the next Warfare it'll be go. So this next match after this one will most likely be a Warfare, and they'll kick it off. So hoping that it'll end up working out with a good map, and we won't see like an Unbalanced or Moggin or something like that.
Let's do it.
On PC, do the clans use in-game VoIP or do they use Discord?
I think they use Discord.
So, yes and no. It depends. I know like some people use Discord, probably the SLs and stuff, but I know since they squad hop so much, they usually use in-game because it's around like it's crazy how often those players just jump around to squad and keep them small. So I think they use in-game a lot for that. But I mean,
just to increase the spawn density.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they know why, but I think that's the reason why they're using game.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of that kind of migrate to I'd say the meta on console is maybe like a year and a half behind PC, maybe a little bit more. It's you're seeing the better teams in the league now have a similar thing where they're squad hopping and making sure that they're just keeping like max squads, max OPs, max garrisons at any time, and just kind of whereas in the early seasons, you'd see a lot of 5-0s. Like most game ended 5-0. You're seeing a lot more 3-2s now with teams, sitting on the point and being content with their, armor advantages in certain areas and building like more repair stations than you've ever imagined to put in one spot. Like I've seen PC footage where they have, 3 8 repair stations right next to the tank, and that tank is not moving for the rest of the game. Like, it's definitely interesting to see it change, but it is a slow go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Excited to see this game eventually.
Yeah, this is the last burn.
It should be the last burn as long as the rotation does what it's been doing, where it alternates offense to warfare. We should be playing next game, and I am excited.
2 offensive in a row?
It can happen. I've seen it happen,
Oh my
but
God.
it's thankfully rare.
That's brutal.
At least we're on a map that would have been acceptable if it was a warfare. So we know that they exist in this rotation right now. We're not being punked.
There was one time I got like freaking Hill 400 offensive German, Hill 400 offensive American, and like Warfare Hill 400, and I was like, I cannot do this. I left.
On PC, they put
no,
that
on
as
console.
Oh,
it was
okay,
like
of course, of
terrible.
course.
I was like, why would
Yeah.
you put offensive twice for the same map? That's crazy.
Thursday, my group was on. We had LL and Maine 4 games in a row.
Yeah, I think we need to maybe
Buy a lottery ticket.
talk to might need to talk to the devs and see if we can like set a regular cadence for map. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a big issue to just do a map rotation
Yeah.
for console.
I wish I just
Maybe
knew
we
it
need
was
to have
next.
some sort of.
Because if I knew, or if I was in the rotation and it wasn't somewhere
Yeah.
good, I'd be like,
There was
all right,
one
just gonna be
time
server.
they did, maybe that's why they don't do it.
They want you
That
playing
makes
at all
sense.
times.
Yeah.
Like Clockwork Orange, the LLMA, it's like I don't want to play it.
Huh. Yeah, I wonder if there's a better way to do the server route or server rotation and make sure people know what it is or whatever the case is.
Yeah, I don't know what they're limited to. It's probably something really dumb. Like they just can't do it for some dumb reason.
No, they swap the rotation all the time. Like I see them go all the way.
They changed the rotation.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just mean like
about
once not
month
that hard.
or so.
Yeah, you can do one every week. It takes 10 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there should be a different rotation, based on different things. I mean, I know they've recently started doing it where a new map comes out or whatever, and they expedite that as much as possible. But there needs to be maybe a more vocal way that people can kind of like pick maps. I'm surprised there's not like map voting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a suggestion that I had where, like now that you have the vote to kick functionality in the game, it could be the same where, every single match has a warm-up period for the most part.
Yeah.
And you can just say, it's a 3/4 vote. If 3/4 of the team vote to skip the map, it then goes to the other team, and it'll say the other team is, voted to skip this map. Would you like to vote? And then everyone votes the same, and it's like, okay, skip. That probably wouldn't be usable in cases other than our own, but it would be a way to kind of do a piecemeal solution.
Well, there's map voting already on PC. Like,
Yeah.
you can do it. It's just like do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much that is. That's all Archon though. They'd have, I guess.
Is it?
I mean, you could
Oh, yeah.
So you could do that. Private servers have become a thing really easily,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I think the communities would 100%, get together and, crowd fund something like that. It would be a no-brainer if you
It's already
knew that-
built.
Yeah.
It's already built. Is the thing. It's like they just need to make it available on console, and that's it. Like,
Yeah. Just need computer access
uh-huh.
to do your admin stuff.
Yeah, as long as you knew that, like, you can get home from work and, you can join a server and it's going to be a good game. Like, there's going to be people on both sides that are playing the game correctly. That bring new life to the game. I'm really telling you, so many people that, have maybe put the game aside for other things that would get back into it.
Yeah.
Just get ready for seeding.
I think
sucks. Yeah.
Is mostly the rules just like, fight over midpoint until both teams
Yeah,
dead?
it's not bad. It's just when you have
Mhm.
to do it almost every day. It's brutal.
It can't be worse than this. So that's my consolation.
No, this is terrible.
2 more points and then we were likely playing the next one.
To burn, when you go into these, you expect your 90-minute game is going to take 3 hours between mustering, between finding the server. Because until this week, we did not have a way to force open a server. So between finding the server, getting everyone into the server, which again takes time because it's not private. So the same time your boys are trying to join, people that aren't part of your clan are joining in. So
That's the worst.
So then we
That's
have to, we got to be the bad guys and kick them out, even though we're screaming in proxy and command chat, "Hey, let you know this is what's going on. We wish we could do something else."
And it's just
And
like first time playing the game, and it's like, hey, how are you? I'm super excited to play.
They immediately go
Goes
to
to
Reddit.
Discord. Oh yeah. Reddit. Yeah, they're like, wow, I got kicked for cheating. What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't cheat. I didn't even see anyone.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the first comment was there a bunch of clan people there?
yeah. Yeah,
It's
it gets tiring, like explaining like the same things to people who don't care if that is the case either. So like, you don't want to be that guy, but at the same time, it's like, we're doing the best we can, dude. Like, it takes you 2 seconds, it takes us 3 hours. Like, I wish I was unaware of this side of things sometimes.
Well, yeah. So there's days I'm like, can I just go back to like I have this game on PC and I go in. I'm only like level 30 or something over there.
Mhm.
I'll go in and play as I'll be the blueberry that jumps in, runs as rifleman, does not necessarily acts like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just running Rambo, having fun. So I was like, sometimes I'm like, man, I want to go back to. Some days I wish I go back to that. And then you play 2 matches, and you're like, yeah, no. Remember why I like my organized groups?
Yeah. No, it's like once you play Hell Loose, like how it can be played, there's no going back.
Mouse and keyboard is something I was never able to like rewire my brain into too. I've played like other mouse and keyboard games, and I've tried like plugging in my mouse and keyboard on like a game like Call of Duty, and people would have you think that it's like an instant win cheat. It's not. Like, you still need to be good at mouse and keyboard to be good at the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I'm super preferential. Like, I tried Hell Loose on controller and console a couple times, and it felt so weird. Then, I'm like, you mentioned Call of Duty. I can do Call of Duty on console. I can't do it on PC. It's all just different preferential, I think. But
yeah, it doesn't help that the default settings on Hell Loose on console are really bad. Like, it's
I'm sure.
You need to change your controller settings on console if you're gonna like enjoy the game or be able to hit anything.
Yeah, it felt like there was hardly any aim assist when I was playing Hell Loose. It's kind of weird, which makes it. I
think most of the like experienced player base on console takes off aim assist. Like, I don't play with it. I know most of like the people that I know don't play with it on either. Just because it like hurts more than it helps.
Yeah, you guys are fucking way better at this than I am. Like, I found myself just kind of like going left, right, up, down. Like, I
can't aim shit.
Yeah, I can't aim at all. I was super horizontal.
Or like using the what's it called? The freaking spotter and the tank. Like, I can't aim at anything.
Yeah, it's like I feel so not dynamic at all. But we know people that are really good. Like, we have a guy, an admin on our server, he plays Comp 2. He uses controller on PC, and he primarily tanks, which is wild to me. And he's good. I'm like, he's playing against all these mouse and keyboard people, usually winning.
Oh, Burnt?
Yeah.
Burnt uses controller?
Burnt uses a controller,
yeah. I was talking about Fupa.
Oh, Fupa uses a controller?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
I know. You would never think it with the way he keeps up.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he posted a screenshot and admin.
Only
buttons on there. I was like, "What, dude? What?"
On tank? Or
yeah, everything.
Yeah. No, even on controller, like, or on infantry?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know why he would why he would do tank spotter with controller, not infantry.
well, tanking is pretty easy on overall. Like, I actually like driving.
Yeah, but tanking. Spotter, dude, mouse is.
Yeah.
Like, you need the mouse.
We're gonna see here what map we're gonna get.
Another offensive, I guarantee you.
Oh, dude, that'd break my heart. I couldn't. Don't
I have it in my bones.
You want me, Ricky Bobby?
Don't you put
I feel it in my bones right now. I'm telling you.
Oh, all right. Curse Warfare. Oh goodness.
You know what's funny? The last time we did this, it was Kursk night.
It was.
Oh, there you go, Kursk. Kursk will be a good one.
Definitely be interesting. Let's see what the midpoint is here.
But
looks
this
like
is
it's
day
gonna be
Kursk,
Oleg.
not nice Kursk.
I think it's way better to watch. It's gonna be
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already on it. Sweet.
Yeah, let's we could bring up the strat sketch here, Killa, whenever you have a chance. I'm just filling out the map here. So we have Oleg's house as the midpoint. So the low ground of the map. It'll be interesting to see that this house here is going to be huge for the Germans getting up on this hill, being able to shoot down into Oleg's for the Axis, you know, they're going to be a lot slower to get to this point too. So it's going to be probably the Germans getting to the point first, and then the Soviets second. What do you see as this? You see this point here, Raz and Fresh?
I don't see a strat sketch. Oh,
Hold on. If you
I
go
can
to
tell
the
you about Oleg's, but I don't see a scratch.
you get to the here, I'll tag you in it.
I personally think Oleg's is more fun to fight over than. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Where am I looking at?
It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in the
okay.
chat.
It's in the DMs.
Shit, boy. All right.
Oh, can I draw on this?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you out here. Yeah.
Oh no.
Don't do it, Raz. Don't do it.
As you can see,
Oh,
they're
push
gonna
it.
spawn here, and then they're gonna push over here, but they might wrap right back around here.
The John Madden.
Infantry's gonna come through the trenches and destroy
There you
batteries.
go. Yeah. So, what are the objectives here? The
Oleg's is the middle.
We got Oleg's right now as the middle, and then the points are as highlighted there.
all right.
So definitely, we're gonna probably see the Axis get in first here. Just a lot more even terrain for them.
This
That is
hill to the
my
east
favorite.
of Oleg's, yeah, that hill right there is going to be so crucial in this to really stop. Whoever claims that hills with armor is going to be able to stop tanks from really leaving their HQ, and that's going to be such a key feature in this match, most likely.
I think it's easier, in my opinion, for the Russians to get up there. I think they have a little better of an angle, but the Germans can do a pretty good job of countering it. I think from this hill here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a straight shot as soon as you come out there with the Germans.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
They might get there like to here faster.
Yeah.
But the Russians usually have a better spot up on that hill for sure.
I will say, if the Germans manage to take out the Russian armor up there, it's way easier for them to get there rather than going through the whole trench system and whatnot, not getting a retreat and get stuck. It's way easier to capitalize and getting up there.
Immediately, you're going to see a garrison here by
the
Germans, like 100%. It's a little bit more ambiguous of where it's going to be on the Soviet side. You know, probably just somewhere in the middle here. Just get people in there as fast as possible. But
yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of advantages here for the Germans. Weaponry, a lot of the armor. I mean, depending on how you feel about the IS-1. I mean, the IS-1's kind of invincible sometimes. So that there's always that consideration. But
I still think of this area, it's like, although you might be invincible, there's not a really like hold down position for the IS-1.
You gotta commit with the depression to get on that hill. So if you're an IS-1, you really, I mean, you still have time to reverse if you know what you're doing, but I mean, there's no.
It's a lot.
No
well, remember,
there.
it's a lot slower on console fresh, so they really don't have that much time. They have to get pretty far, so they can probably take the 2 hits and die before they can back up.
Oh, wow.
So long as
bad for the Russians then.
Yeah, I think the Germans play, in my opinion, set up here because I don't think you're gonna be. It's gonna be tough to beat them there. I think if you can beat them there, great. But set up on this hill, and you'll be fine because that, medium's got to go all the way across here, which is a relatively short shot. But the T-34 is gonna cut it across here, which is probably. I don't know.
The T-34 is so much better than the Panzer IV. I mean, that's usually a tough fight to win for the P4 when it's 2 experienced crews, in my opinion. That thing can bounce shots like crazy if you angle it properly.
Yeah, I think the Russians too need to set up right here so they can support this general area too from any armor that comes up, infantry, AT gun here, infantry up in the windmills is probably a good play as well. Windmills is always important to hold though.
Yeah, you need something up there. I mean, that's your second tank priority as soon as you take Oleg's here.
Yeah, I think Killa has Noble's perspective up here too. Noble is looks like he is in an offensive squad. He's on right off that garrison that we said was guaranteed for the Germans to the southeast of Oleg's, and they have the cap pressure in their favor. They're a little bit over half cap now, and I saw Noble actually take out the one of the truck passengers, as they're all just kind of flooding in from where we said from listening posts. So definitely we're underway here, and SAS off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. The Germans getting there real quick, like we were just talking about.
Yeah, they'll get there. They'll push up, get some blue line garrisons just right there, listening post.
Does look like FEB has a good amount of map presence across the line right now, but no concentration of anything really pushing into Oleg. So that's we're seeing 3-2 now on Oleg's in this kind of intermediary stage, with the Soviets using a early Katushka as well here.
Yeah, the Russians.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Soviets need to be really, really careful. Those kind of meat grinder garrisons are going to be something you got to keep up nonstop when they start going down, and that's going to be really hard going from Oleg's into to the next point. I mean, for them to do that, so they got to be careful here, and they got to really just provide good overwatch on their spawns and put them up as quickly as possible when they go down. Otherwise, they'll find that point getting overrun real quick with those trenches.
Yeah, we can go to, with Noble down here, let's just go over to Jackson real quick, who's playing a familiar sort of play style from last time we saw this this match on Kursk, where it was nighttime, but just kind of using these weeds here and being pretty much invisible when you're doing this in the grand scheme of the battle here. So looking just to take a little bit better position for SAS.
Definitely invisible up close, but not over like 10-15 feet.
That render distance drops off.
You're invisible, but you're just in an open field.
And that's a
north. Oh yeah, look at this bush. Jinxed them.
Yeah, so it's gonna go. Yeah, the
now
curse
look
the
at maps though. I'm seeing FEB. Looks like they're trying to take their time, get themselves set up, get their control of more so than just right at the strong point. They're trying to set themselves up for the long game. I mean, it's a full 90 minutes. Yes,
Russian
right off the rip.
Russian armor. Such a weird spot for Russian armor to be set up in. Kind of like in the center of the map. I don't know why they're pushing that spot. I mean, it's okay, but there's not really a way to back off. Where German armor is sitting somewhere in G7-ish. Looks like both teams do have an accurate mark on their respective armor, but I think that German armor might be in a little more cover than the Russian armor. A Russian's just pushing his tank straight in the objective too. What is he doing?
We can, yeah, we can take a look at Jackson here, who's got the rockets going, and he's, I think that's their, was that their recon?
No, they have a tank. I think off to his right a little bit.
Inside like Yamki.
Yeah, like pushing straight in, where the German tank, I'm just watching the maps. The German tank looks like it's sideways on one of the hills, looking for that T-34.
FEB is making some progress in here. If we swap over to T-Bone here, T-Bone is pushing just down the hill from that trench line, pretty much just right into the point right now. So
yeah. I will say, like, the tank is actually totally fine. The tank itself is next to a red zone garrison. Oh, he's dead immediately.
You're really stressed out. Tank was fine, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he died instantly. I mean, he was in there. His garrison wasn't lit up though. I think the rocket came from a little further than he anticipated. But I mean, like, I don't know why he drove so far in. He should have just posted up, in my opinion. I mean, he has infantry posted up on the hill already on that far side that we were talking about originally, but he just went middle of the map directly into the objective. I don't know what he expected.
And we could have had that, you know, he has that red zone garrison there that, you know, albeit locked out, that all of a sudden is able to get a wave off or two. Like, you have a lot of infantry support that could just be right there in prime position to get you into Oleg.
I think infantry support is just made up and hell loose, honestly. Like, the problem with infantry support is just, it doesn't exist. Like, yeah, you can have infantry like kill the other infantry, but the reality is they can't deflect rockets. They can't deflect armor, you know, like. So in reality, it's kind of just comes down to like
On the light
Can they
vehicle
body
marker,
block
just
for you? That would be infantry support. Can they rep faster? Yeah, that would be good infantry support. But
I've
aside
got
from that, I
satchel
mean,
out.
like, it's kind of irrelevant if the
take
tank
it
is
if you
still
can.
posted up,
Whoever's got a
taking
satchel,
shots at him. You
run up
know?
that light vehicle marker.
Yeah, I think when people talk about
Enemy garrison on ping.
I've seen it go through different iterations in like the comp scene.
Enemy OP
in
destroyed.
TPL,
Yeah.
where you
Where's it
say,
going?
okay, the tanks will do
Enemy
their own thing,
garrison's
and then
down.
it's like,
I'm
okay,
taking
the
it
tanks
down
are
on my
getting
position
destroyed.
now.
Let's
It's gone.
dedicate infantry to support them, and then it's like, okay, well, we don't have the manpower now where we need it
I've been
because
dropped.
there's people
They're
defending the
northeast
tank.
roughly.
And
Yeah.
it evolves with time, and I think you're getting to the point where it's just like, okay, put a garrison, put a rep
Good one,
station.
right, yeah.
That's your infantry support.
Nice.
If you're in danger, go towards the garrison, get
Ping,
your rep
dodge your
station
shot.
up, and the people will spawn and help you out from if it's like a guy with a satchel chasing you or whatever it is.
Here you see the Panzer IV is now pushing up to the spot that we were talking about. But their IS-1 is coming out, rolling right
Repair
down the
station's
middle and
gone.
getting rocketed immediately. His engine's about to go down.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is bad news for the IS-1.
Yeah, engine's dead.
Jackson. Jackson here is with the Panzer Strike. He's got his support standing by, gives him more supply. This is beautiful to watch. This is, you don't see this in public games.
Why did he go down the middle,
Just
though?
my
I
job.
don't understand.
I would have never done that.
Oh,
You gotta
what
stay in
a-
the pocket. He's right on the main road.
Right.
That is
Yeah,
a
cursed.
huge play.
Which one was that?
Dead.
First
Yeah,
AT
IS-1.
ambush that's classic move.
Absolutely. I mean, like in the middle of the open, you gotta go way far, edge of the map, stay in your pocket. I mean, you're going against a Panzer IV. Like you should easily have it from even the tree line in the
Enemy
back.
at my 240. Ping's accurate.
Yeah, hopefully
and
they
Just on the
don't
crest of that
make that
hill.
mistake
There's
again
one
here
by
and they
himself.
just learn from what just happened because
No
I
one
know
hit.
the German team's going to have AT on every. There's only so
Yeah,
many
of
routes the
course.
Russians can take. Like,
Absolutely.
when you're driving the IS-1, you
They
gotta
have to
trench
stay
around.
at the top right HQ. Like they
Yeah.
have to come out of there. The Panzer IV now, I think, is on the hillside. He's just probably laying waste to all the Russians,
Yeah.
which is the team that is preferred to win from this battle. Is there like underdogs? Are they pretty equal?
We think they're pretty equal based off of both of them are fairly new. SAS has been around longer, but they haven't. We talked about earlier. I don't know if you're in here at the time. They are just coming off last season. They played as a coalition. FEB rebranded. They used to be in TPL Light, so both of them used to be small teams, and they're just now getting to where they are playing full 50 team matches.
Yeah,
And
I'd
that's
say
the Spanish team?
Spanish, the South American team is FEB.
Gotcha.
SAS
Okay.
is
Yeah.
the UK team.
Understood. Looks like the Germans are just a well-oiled machine at the moment. I mean, the Russians seem like they have people in the back line, but I don't know if they're really like
This is gonna be a tough one
Hold
for
it
them to get
together.
out of.
Yeah.
I will
yeah,
say
losing that much fuel so quickly into the match. I mean, it was like, what,
Go on,
12, 13 minutes into the match,
Yeah,
losing a first
yeah.
IS
Scouts is a guy in that trench, definitely.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
other
trying
team
to
has
get
their
it from
medium
behind.
up still. They can roll out a Panther
Well,
now.
they
And
do.
pretty much have
They have a
freedom.
heavy tank and they have a medium tank rolled up
Yeah.
on the two positions that we
The
were
guy
talking
that dug
about.
out as well.
Go on, Michael.
Now the basically
Oh,
the
shit, mines in there, lads, careful.
Just got way harder.
Yeah,
It's gonna-
like
they're
Machine
gonna be
yes.
fighting to get out of HQs.
they're gonna need to sit like on top right HQ in the tree line behind cover, just popping shots at those two tanks. That's the rest of their life for the rest of this game until they take that middle point. Oh my god, he just executed his teammate.
Yeah.
I do want to point out something I'm seeing with Madeira here, who's on FEB here. He's been building up barbed wire just like on the edge of these trenches over at their defensive point. And of course he dies as I say this, but they're just building barbed wire all down the trench line, kind of making it an impenetrable wall for any sort of SAS to get into, which is interesting because they do need to buy themselves time with listening posts being right up against Oleg's. But I wonder if that's the best use of manpower right now at this point in the game.
I will say in Kursk, the center point is so incredibly important that if you can just lock it down pretty quick, I think even if you hold it, you can bleed out the enemy team just from that middle point.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. So as long as they're putting it towards the center, blocking off any crucial points in Tianqi, I think that's probably well spent.
In that time, I think it was listening post, flash for a second. So they're making some progress on there.
Yeah, I mean the Germans look like they're surrounding listening post right now. They're deep in the northwest side currently.
Yeah, we can flip over to Jackson, who looks like he's over there right now in the northwest.
Watch out for mines. Watch out for mines.
Lots of mines going down in
Enemy
these
supplies
trenches.
down.
Oh Jesus Christ! I just saw that. He just exploded.
Yeah, I mean the fun part about trenches in this match or this map really is like you got to hit your shots. You got to win your fights basically in order to progress through the level.
OP hot boys.
And I enjoy that. You know, it's not as simple as just walking around that
OP's
sometimes. And this map really makes you
OP's
fight
gone.
for.
Oh shit!
Oh no, new one's up. Yeah.
And you're seeing a
Scared
lot
the shit out of me.
The
of,
old OP was
this is
off.
where
Oh, yeah.
the Soviets really have the
Grenades
advantage.
going off
with
right in front of me
PPSA.
east.
It's like, you know, Jackson's over here with a Car 98 going through these trenches.
You're in front of
You
me.
know, he's really got to make
Grenades
sure
out,
he sees
grenades
them
out.
first.
They got Katusha coming in.
I agree.
Oh, they're already
Look at those
getting back at the
grenades.
listening post.
Yeah, they know all the infantry's in there, I guess.
Oh Jesus! There's so
Oh,
many
shit,
grenades
sorry,
they're
bro.
tossing.
Yeah, multiple in that
Huge
trench
distraction
east.
coming on
Yeah.
the point, it looks like.
They're doing a
SAS
lot
making
of
it hard.
TKing over here. Keep shooting at each other.
They're just trying to get quicker deploys
Oh,
out.
I just saved juggles there.
No, they just
Fucking mines.
accidentally walk in front of each other.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
both,
there's a mine right in
there was
front of me.
one earlier where two guys were shooting at the same the same Russian, and they ran into each other's shots.
Yeah, this trench line is definitely packed with FEB. And Jackson goes down there.
I can't remember. Do you guys have Arty rules for
No,
competition?
it's a free for all with Artie. It's you know,
Okay,
use as
wow.
many guns as you want. And you know, just if the other team can't deal with it, they can't deal with it.
Oh man, so enemies, Recon's gonna have a task to do, I imagine. During
Always,
this map.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Recon's is a busy task because like on console, really you have like your flare guy who's just going to be running around doing flares
Spamming, yeah.
constantly, and then you have, you know, Artie needs to go down at a certain time, so you try to time that up right, and then you have obviously the nodes too. So a lot of work for them.
Looks like the German team is starting to bust into the listening post strong point here. Looking at those maps, maybe.
That's what I'm
Flank
seeing as
him
well.
beyond the
We
point.
can
Yeah.
swap over to T-Bone, who's with FEB here. You can see the point getting a little contested, and SAS is pushing in from the west, pretty tough on those trench lines, taking advantage of the lack of pressure on their own defense.
Yeah, if the Germans manage to take down that garrison that's directly on the strong point, it's gonna be bad news because then they pretty much have the whole Russian front line and pincered between their push coming out of Oleg's.
Yeah, very easy to rotate these defenders up if SAS is able to capture here.
They're only 2-2 though, so they can get a wave off and get this flip back the other way.
First station down.
Yeah, and T-Bone is building the garrison on the
Capturing
blue line
2-2
there. It's kind of a
contested,
quick
losing
one just to get
2-2.
some additional bodies.
Yeah, it looks like the Germans did manage to get the garrison that was on the strong point here.
They got that down. They are defending now though. Soviets are defending, I should say.
Yep. And FEB is going to be reinforcing the point here from the southeast from that garrison that T-Bone just built. So with them coming in from the southeast and SAS pushing in from the northwest, it's kind of, they're going to be meeting right in the middle of that strong point, and these trenches are going to get packed.
Absolutely.
Looks like the Germans had a heavy tank actually get satcheled.
That'd be huge if the Soviets were able to take out that heavy tank. Kind of evens the playing field a little bit.
I think it went down.
We can go out to Jackson again, who's on AT, pushing from the northwest that we saw him earlier, moving in with his squad through these trenches. Seem to know exactly where a garrison might be. They keep moving back to the same area with intent, and I'm sure that they're trying to keep as much pressure on.
I know I should have stayed where I was.
Yep. Watching you turn to soup there, Empire.
I was under that little bridge. I watched the stairs and I go, no, go.
Yeah, that Artie's got honed in on us now.
Let's see if SAS kind of regroups their attack here, because I did notice they had a red zone garrison that's up there too,
Multiple
out
friendlies,
there
one
to
down,
the,
each one 10.
to the west.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like listing post is 2-1 in favor of the defenders right now. 3-1 actually, so they did a good job recovering the point there and kicking the Germans off.
Yeah, let's take a look at Madeira here, who's working on the defense with the SVT here, just kind of holding these trenches down. Lots of smoke going down. SAS trying to push in.
Yeah, I think they've realized the main push is coming from the west here, so they're really starting to head that way.
I hope SAS on the defense is taking advantage of this time though here, where they kind of have this sort of like stagnant cap pressure that's forcing FEB to stay on defense, and takes that opportunity to build up your garrison network and get some defenses where you can. Repair stations.
Absolutely. And hopefully their tanks are able to move up here in the time that German heavy tank comes down too, so they can get some fight for them. But I think they're going to have their hands full. It looks like there's an AT gun up the windmills for the German, as well as, I think that's a medium.
Yeah, they're definitely making good use of these, this time that they're given here with the AT guns. It's so important to have that windmill high ground.
Yeah, right now, it doesn't look like the Russians have anyone heading that way directly, so the Germans are going to enjoy that up there, and that's not going to be good for the Russians coming out of HQ.
Makes that initial medium, or that initial IS-1 takedown even more important. That IS-1 would, theoretically be able to prevent that from happening for a little bit.
I still cannot believe they got that IS-1.
Yeah, that might be play of the match, just the AT being over there, right place, right time.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even that far is the thing. Like, he was just right next to the point.
Yeah, he just happened to be there.
What?
Yeah, right place, right time. He knew. I was surprised that they spawned it at middle.
Just trying to get one behind you.
I would have thought you definitely spawned it on the right side here.
I think maybe he was trying to go back for that Panzer IV really fast, and he just misjudged how deep they had pushed. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the Russians
Nice.
really
I was looking at my map.
hardly have any map control to the west, even middle of the map in their blue zone right now. No.
Yeah, I think that there's
no Ps and.
They still might be recovering from that like all hands on deck moment of getting post over 50% cap progress with the garrison on point going down. It just became everyone get back, and now we're seeing how they're going to reset and come out of that. I mean, the good news is that they repelled it pretty well, and SAS is doing the same sort of reset. But they definitely need to make the most of this time. I always think, when I'm playing in these matches,
he's spawned back up there.
Idle hands do the devil's work. You don't want it. Like, if you're ever in a situation where you're defending and you know what you're doing, like, you need to be able to do something and take advantage of those lulls in the fighting.
Absolutely.
I'm stuck in a fucking foxhole.
We can go back to Jackson here, who's back with placing even more mines in the road for the tanks that might be coming out of middle.
Yeah, between them really owning that main middle road and the tanks up and AT guns up on the ridge.
Drop one to the right of those logs.
Be careful and not turtle too much here.
Destroy the outpost.
Up all that map.
There's another guy there. Fuck.
He's a good stalemate here. I think the armor is kind of pushed off. I can't really see where the armor is. Oh, but look at them. They're mining the main road, which obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really owning the whole middle and
Heading further down the trench.
Which is still fine. Like, the middle of the map is not too important because, again, why would you push a tank out in the middle? Like, just keep in the pocket. I think.
Come back in as magic
and it looks like they're doing that now. It looks like they're playing the top right side.
It's more for the infantry moving through those trenches.
Yeah. I think just keep it in the pocket. It's going to be tough for them to get out of there, but I believe they may have knocked the armor. I can't really see the armor.
Yeah, it's going to take a big effort, but it's still possible. They just need to be patient, have their tanks sit back for a while.
I think they're running for the satchel here. Yeah, he's going for satchel all the way back in their HQ for this tank. Poor guy getting surrounded.
Yeah, you see a lot of this happen on console now, where you have these squads that are just dedicated to harassing their HQ, making sure that any armor that they might have come out is not going to do it for free. Let's see if he gets hit by this mine. That'd be incredible.
Is he going down the middle again?
He is.
Jumping now, moving.
Why?
West to south.
You gonna get hit by the mine? Does he say it?
He knows. Oh, rockets! There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he got his mine missed in, but he got rocketed. Or he got around the mine, I should say.
Why are they going that way though?
There it goes. Yeah.
Nice.
They're
enemies approaching us from north 40.
I don't know. I don't understand. That makes no sense to me.
It looks like they finally do have an IS-1 going down the east side of the map.
Yeah, that's good. And again, I think they took down both their tanks, both the German tanks. That's good. That other tank is.
I don't hear that PPSH, just can't fucking see it.
Just southeast of Windmill. I can't remember what it is.
Recon plane going up.
There, but there
it's a heavy.
There's our heavy. Okay.
Yeah, so this IS-1 needs to be real careful because there's not really any cover out there. It's either you're sitting in the tree line.
Enemy Gary on me.
Sitting in the tree line, or you're booking it.
Where are you?
Far south, while the tanks.
And he's marked too on their map.
Marked.
Like he's clearly marked. Yeah. So they need to be looking out for him. Oh, I think they're angled up. Yeah, they are angled up for him. Looking for him.
If that heavy tank pushes over the ridge, I mean, they know where each other's are, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know if that IS-1 is marked, but the German heavy is. Yeah, I mean, we'll see kind of who gets the better angle.
Yeah, to FEB's credit, they are pushing around Oleg's pretty well. I mean, options for both teams, like if SAS were to have lost the midpoint race, like your only chance, their really only place to capture here is from Yamki, like pushing east, west. So it's a tough point to get back for either team, but FEB is doing a good job at kind of getting OPs at least placed where they should be, and then, you know, hoping to catch SAS slipping maybe on an attack attempt. Gonna come down to that heavy though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's Kursk for you. Yeah, it'll kind of, whatever tank wins this next fight will be a big dictator in which team's going to have the easier time advancing.
I think Jackson is looking for that IS-1 now, too. He's getting close.
I didn't see it.
I think it's gone.
Yeah, looking up points.
I saw them, yeah,
Jackson
I think they just fucking...
sees the IS-1.
We're capturing.
Getting the satchel.
The track satchel, there it is. That's a hard one to take off.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
They're capturing ours though.
I don't even know.
We're losing.
Yeah. Come on now.
They have a spotter?
Doesn't matter.
Maybe they're just not listening?
I don't know. But he's got that right side locked down. So
oh yeah, he's in a great spot.
Gonna go off.
Yeah, no way. Yeah, looks like he actually came out. The DC.
Yeah. Pushing to listening now, boys. Pushing.
Oh look, he's stuck in the tray. Yep. You gotta go prone, dude. You gotta go prone. That's the trick. He gets the IS-1, but he's still stuck. Go prone.
I've never seen this bug before.
No, you don't have to.
It doesn't always let you go prone when you're stuck in the tree.
Oh, okay.
I've had it 90% of the time you can go prone and get out of it, but once in a while it won't let you.
Is that a new one for you guys, Raz?
I've never seen that before.
Man, gotta love that.
Not often, but it happens. It's not a massive one like some of the bugs we have.
A turn of events. Looks like Oleg's house is starting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oleg's house is now getting pressured.
Yeah. Both points are flashing. We got ourselves a good old fashioned cap race rolling right now.
Who can hold them off long enough?
I mean, here comes the Katyushka strike, probably on Oleg's.
Yep. There it goes. We can swap over to FEB here really quick. We can do a T-Bone, who's might be on the attack. I believe he is. Shrouded in smoke right now.
Germans are starting a capture on listening post at the same time. It's a tough one. They need to not over.
If everything stays the way it is, the Soviets will win the race.
Yes.
When will they? What is the move though? Do you full send?
Can't see. Oh, they had a fucking AP line in that trench.
Or is it
big problems though for SAS? I'm seeing they don't have any garrisons.
That's where they're coming.
They have zero garrisons.
Yeah, at this point.
Oh no, they were able to rebuild one right on that obvious spot that we were saying earlier in the match. So they're safe here, but it's going to be tough with that Katushka as well.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, I'm thinking all hands on deck defense. You only have
Yeah.
time for about one more spawn wave off of Garrison, and you might as well just get in a good position to try and retake.
Yeah, everyone is down right now. T-Bone is the one that's closest attacking for FEB. He loses his OP, but he spawns in anyway. He's locked in, but he goes down. So that OP is gone for FEB.
Oleg is they're defending Oleg, and
Reinforcement
it just switched to instead of both losing, they're both defending right now.
Yep, Noble
going back.
Noble's back on defense, defending, gets his OP up off that garrison. FEB has one garrison that's actually still up out to the west inside Yamki. We'll swap to that shortly once he's a little closer to spawning. But yeah, both teams able to fend off that pressure.
Reinforce is down for both teams right now, so we'll see once that goes up what starts going down again.
I am seeing.
They just said a bombing run over listening.
They might not have a garrison there either. No, they do have a red line garrison up there. So let's go to T-Bone here. He's just about to spawn on the garrison in Yamki. See if FEB is able to get some pressure out into the east.
Looks like it's still 2-1 on listing post for the Soviets. With that reinforcement, of course.
I think the Soviets actually just tried to precision strike that garrison on the on that house to the southeast of the point. I don't know if they got it or not.
That's a tough one. I
gotta make sure here.
Precision strike's pretty unreliable for that. But I guess if it's out in the open, it's a little easier. Nothing around it.
I think they might have gotten it because they just replaced the garrison up over there. I'm seeing on Noble's side, but still, T-Bone's able to get in pretty close here. I mean, he's just creeping, getting his OP out.
They are still captain listening as well, so they're able to keep the pressure going.
Looks like we're 2-2.
The one around bandage on bed, yeah.
Swaying back and forth.
On the trench, yeah.
Dropped off the OP.
Behind. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, we can go to Jackson really quick. Jackson is just on the point here, going crazy. Melee's a guy in this trench.
Watching him, like, man,
Guys, I'm
one day I'll be good at this game.
Grenading me.
Jackson, oh.
Fuck.
What a play by Jackson. We only caught the tail end of it there, but Jackson put on a clinic right there, just getting into the point. But we can go back to T-Bone, who's trying to do the same thing for FEB onto Oleg's.
Yeah, it looks like the Soviets done a good job about building garrisons to the west. They have a defending garrison in the west, also an attacking garrison in the red of the west at both points. So they're starting to take that map control back. I think it's helping them out greatly.
There's a tank up for SAS, takes out T-Bone and his squad over there. Let's go back to Jackson. That monster, he's pushing the same spot
going down there, Jackson, careful.
Still on the strong point.
One more, stay back, just stay where you're at. Yep.
Yeah, no reinforce to save either team right now for the moment.
Do we know where they're coming from right now? Yeah, southeast, the trench pushing southeast.
It looks like Jackson and Madeira are in a fight right now for this trench line. Madeira goes down, or sorry, Jackson goes down. Madeira is defending that same trench.
That's awesome. That was a nice little hop right there.
Yeah. Let's go to Madeira really quick now, who's, we'll kind of get his take on it from his perspective. I'm sure this is Jackson's squad who just keeps jumping in this trench over and over again, keeping him busy.
Right now, it kind of looks like the Soviets do own kind of that dead space in between the 2 points.
Yeah.
Granted, there doesn't look like the Germans have anything going on, which could be dangerous. I know that's a real hard area to attack and defend from, but there's a lot of cap zone they can walk into over there.
Taca, taca. 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 Tem o supply aí. Tem o supply aí. Vamos fazer a munição.
Good fights though. 1-1 on Oleg's.
And Oleg's goes contested actually right here. We can let's go to T-Bone here, who's he's getting into these points like over and over again from every angle it seems. He just appears it from one angle and then his OP will go down and then it'll appear from an entirely different one. So he's keeping his squad in the fight.
Yeah, it looks like the Soviets are just walking in that space we were just talking about, since the Germans don't really have much going on up there.
Germans
they never
have
really
no garrison.
they never really established their blue line presence after that, sort of shifting of points there.
Contested right away too, still 1-1. They're in the circle for sure.
They need to focus on winning that portion of the map back there.
T-Bone should look to his trying to be elusive.
A lot of the
all the moves.
Just came up on that recon.
A lot of different battles happening all over the map here from our POVs.
Yeah, I'm like watching all 4 at once.
So many. Yeah. They're all having a different battle.
We'll go to Jackson, who's attacking an OP and a garrison rather.
On the fucking Gary.
Come right up on a.
You got it, bud.
Oh wow.
Empire side.
It looks like that's the garrison out on the west side.
That's the attacking garrison for sure.
Yeah, that's the western attacking garrison. Yeah.
Shit, I've been dropped. From my left.
Same side. The circle's still hot for Yamki.
Yeah, same.
Really hot.
For Oleg's?
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's gonna land.
It looks like the German army.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Right up on it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So whoever's on support, just keep pushing east.
But they need to put up garrisons. I don't think they have anything anymore.
That's
still just taking forever. Garrisons. I don't even think they have garrisons on their last points, do they? I don't know. I can't see they're opening the map too fast.
Whoever spawned up on the Gary, turn around.
Oh, they got one garrison up for defense.
Just got satcheled.
Kind of like the Germans own a lot of the west side of the point on listening post, but the Soviets own a lot of the west side of the point on Oleg's right now. So if they just were to reset here for a second and have those western attackers from listening post as the Germans just pull back south to clear out Yamki, for Oleg's side, then I think that would relieve a lot of pressure for their team. Just get 2 more garrisons built and you're set on defense.
Yeah. This is one of those points where it's like sometimes you're forced into building those garrisons just to flood cap weight off of it, and it's not really necessarily a great spawn because there's just a lack of locations that have cover over there. But sometimes you just gotta do it.
You can always replace it later. Bad garrison, you get a wave off where you need it. It's better than wait and get it in the right spot, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's incredible how. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, so you can always fight to clear out that area and then set the garrison where you want. But you got to get the manpower there somehow.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it's incredible how quickly the Katusha comes back. Jackson is just absolutely killing.
I was gonna say. Let's go to Jackson because Jackson is playing.
I need an engineer to go back to.
He just got like 3 kills.
Rico, when you next start, I need
he's
nodes.
really helping on defense.
Yeah, we'll do, mate.
I think he's on offense.
Okay.
Right?
I'll go and drop it.
I think he's like on the left side of the next point.
Yeah, he's on like the red-blue line there. He's kind of has to be. Yeah, look, there's FEB's attacking garrison.
Jesus.
Got one in the
Going crazy.
Really helping out the team right now. I mean, this
dude has took the IS-1.
You're talking about how someone needs to do that to relieve some pressure. That's exactly what he was doing.
Oh, dead, but he did mark the garrison, so that's almost just as important.
We'll go back to Jackson when he's back in, because Jackson's having the game of his life right now. Dude is just everywhere that they need him. We'll check out T-Bone too real quick while Jackson gets back in here.
T-Bone accidentally put a outpost up. A lot of people need to learn how to do that in Hell Loose. He actually did it.
So real.
Yeah, that achievement, like building your first outpost,
Incredible.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that moment.
I have it screenshotted. PlayStation took a screenshot for me to remember it by.
What is it at like 3% of total players?
It feels like it.
That's.
I'm gonna look that up while we're talking. At least on Xbox.
So on PC, it's not high, but the reason being is like there's a lot of free-to-play weekends.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Xbox game. Well, no, I think Game Pass. I think it's more of the free-play weekends.
The total amount of users.
Let's go to
so
Jackson.
Yeah.
I'll try and get his OP up.
But it is very low. Like very, very low.
Yeah, we'll stick with Jackson here. He's adamant about getting back to that. I'm Jackson's biggest fan right now.
You want some fun facts for achievements on PC? Only, according to Steam, only 6.2 players have reached level 5.
I told you. Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these are so funny to me.
It's really not that many people.
Garrison's down.
No.
That part.
I mean, it also says only 50% of people have won a match as Axis.
Oh gosh. Well, that's about right. That checks out for the most part, right? Play one round, you have a 50-50 shot.
Sorry, what am I doing in left spawn?
Do 50%
Should be a
have
supply truck there for you.
allies
for nodes.
achievement?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
49%.
Oh shoot. People are leaving the game as allies.
Yeah, this achievement percentages always crack me up.
Not.
I think that garrison might have been taken out that we saw earlier for FEB. So yeah, FEB has one garrison on the point now, and all of their red-blue line is completely open. Sort of the opposite scenario of earlier Fresh that you were talking about, where FEB dominated that red line.
Both teams on full attack right now. Both points starting to go down at like almost the same time.
And SAS has no garrisons on, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. FEB has one garrison on the point that is hot, and not much else. We'll go to Madeira, who's well, he was the only one who was alive. We'll stick.
The only one up.
We'll stick with Jackson now for a second and wait till he gets in because he's going to be attacking, I would imagine, while the two people from FEB are defending.
Did he get that garrison that was attacking?
Yeah, his squad got it. I heard him on comm say that one's down, so FEB is just down to that garrison that they have in the middle of the strong point.
Should definitely relieve some pressure there.
Both teams almost going back at the same time to defend.
Really nice to see people defend.
Yeah.
Very difficult too.
It's like a unicorn when you see it.
Yeah. Defending is so tough, especially when you lose all your, your garrisons. Very, very difficult.
First time I've really enjoyed
Big bombing run coming through.
Listening, yeah.
Knocks the garrison, I think. This might be the time that they start capping.
No, it looks like
they can get more weight.
Looks like FEB kept the garrison up. Luckily, they were able to keep that garrison up, but it's still under pressure from SAS. It's just warm.
I mean, they're on top of them. Like I'm watching the guy on the bottom left here, and I mean, he is trying to survive as much as possible. But they are just coming from every angle.
Nice.
Yeah, Madeira's just sticking in that trench. He's been in there since he finished building those barricades, and he knows that they're gonna have to be coming in there. Yeah, he goes down. But
they're capping.
Yeah.
Here's Jackson with the cap.
Yeah.
Shots from northeast.
Jackson's in the trenches with the MP40.
Absolutely, he's looking for that garrison again.
Yeah.
Soviets do have a garrison on there.
I still think the Germans are just so far around him. I think they're gonna just bleed him out until they cap this.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for the Germans with the Katushka being used offensively by the Soviets on Olegs.
This one.
The Germans can get this garrison on point quick enough here.
One jumped in the trench in front of you, Jackson, about 100 meters up. Another one.
There's two.
Another one here. Run across.
Jackson's
There's 3 of them.
There's a fucking tank.
Yeah, looks like he's starting to get around these
trenches.
trenches.
Takes out an OP.
Yep, he's popping OP there.
2 to 1.
There's about 3 of them running to you.
Get some weight if we can.
Half cap mark.
Empire, your spy's back up.
Yeah, FEB still has the garrison up. Still
Where's
has
the armor
garrison.
been for the Germans? I feel like I haven't seen the German armor
They've been on
in
defense
so
this whole
long.
They've been defending. Legs.
FEB has only garrisons they've got that are not locked out or up
2-2.
north, a long way, 200 plus meters out.
Contested on listing, but that garrison's starting to go down now for the Soviets.
Jackson, they're gonna be all. Look, he sees the whole team coming. Jackson sees the whole team that spawned at that garrison to the northeast. Oh my gosh.
We're losing.
He's yelling in proc chat. Their whole team.
Got one coming behind.
Which is not far from the truth looking at that map.
Yeah,
I mean,
chevrons.
Yeah, they're taking it back, just pure cap weight, and the Germans are in that strong point. That whole team coming off of that garrison. This is where you need your armor.
look, he's blazing the satchel. He knows he's not long for the world.
Can't get out.
He's like,
I love it.
That is great.
Morreu.
Jackson. Cracking me up, man. Let's go out to T-Bone, who's literally pushing
like
through the same trench.
Yeah, they're in that bunker.
T-Bone and Madeira are both in the trenches that T-Bone just put the satchel in.
Did someone see the satchel? 'Cause I feel like it should. There it goes.
Oh my gosh. He's able to get out of the range of it, but I'm curious to know how many Jackson got on that one. Great defense there by FEB.
Yeah,
though. Oh my goodness.
That spawn wave saved the point. And the garrison's back up now.
Yeah, T-Bone's been doing great work with spawn management.
Man, these PPSHs are just going off.
Yeah. Jackson is pushing through these trenches again in the same spot as earlier where he was.
He is a monster. He's a monster with those MP40s.
Yeah.
During this time, the German army's slowly starting to advance up to the ridgeline too. So this
Oh,
is
that's
all
good for
giving
them.
time for German armor to start picking up.
Oh, AT gun spotted by the guy on the top right here.
It looks like the Russians have an IS-1 behind.
You go to Noble.
What?
There's no infantry
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Just a lone IS-1 behind Oleg's.
Why?
How'd that get back there?
This is so strange. Especially the comp game. I'm surprised that that's been able to get back there. But still, what is it gonna do back there? How is it gonna help?
My best guess on it got back there when they were pushing Oleg's pretty heavy, but they pulled everyone back where the whole team can hit redeploy.
Oh, okay.
The armor, they've got to.
Yeah, he's got left back there. That is not good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's able to just beeline it, he might be able to get back to his team. There is one German armor, I think, but
I think it's gone. I don't see it on the map anymore.
Yeah, I don't see it down there either. I think he.
Oh yeah, they must have AT gunned it or.
Yeah, it was back there. It could have been anything.
It was probably disabled or satchels. No, I think it's still back there.
No, it's definitely gone.
I'm not seeing it on the map anymore.
Yeah.
I'm partially blind half the time. You can watch me play and you'll know. But
yeah, it looks like Noble here for SAS is just like spotting for his MG gunner here as it's just aiming into listening posts. Really, just working as a two-man there.
I mean, it's going to be real tough. The Russians are going to have to slowly work their way out of this one. During that whole time, the Germans actually did a decent job about getting past the front line and advancing while they had a chance. So the Russians a little penned back here on the east side of the map behind the point.
Yeah, and it seems like like if we go back to Jackson again, he's able to get into the same trench each time, and FEB isn't pushing out in those moments after they are able to take out the squad. So this is going to start getting more and more difficult, especially that Jackson is playing so well.
I'm glad it's so even. I mean, it seems like they're pretty balanced at the moment.
I think I'm really close to the
that was one of the reasons why I definitely
yeah, it's literally just the other by that
tree. I feel like both of these teams are kind of on the same
points.
part of their competitive journey. With both being a little newer to the competitive scene still, but up and coming teams.
Watch out for mines.
Yeah, they're in the next trench.
The Luke's is even popping off. That's a rarity here on Kursk.
Oh, I found it.
Grenaded.
I'm dead. It's on my body.
Some cap pressure started briefly there again on listening post, but I still think it's kind of an all hands on deck situation for FEB. They're really not I don't have anything on the red blue line right now.
They have like new push going on the front line.
Looks like we might see Jackson fighting Madeira here in that same trench as earlier. Jackson goes down. Pop over to Madeira now, who's you know, again just on defense, and looks like FEB still doesn't have a garrison up on their strong point, but they still have that northeast and northwest garrison, and you know, again, nothing on the red blue. So they really need to push out there and give themselves some breathing room.
I really enjoy Kursk for the trench warfare, and I mean the bottom left guy, one of the FEB folks, is just doing a really good job holding this this trench line and defending. I mean they've been holding it to the last breath for quite a while.
Yeah, but now the Germans are starting to get their tanks involved. I mean they have a on listing post. That's crazy to see.
I think their time is numbered, but I mean the Russians are doing a amazing job of getting bombed, tanked, you know, gunned down, but keeping the garrison up. Like I see him just put supplies down for another garrison right off the bat, like always keeping supplies ready to go, keeping the hold alive. Again, it's numbered for how long they'll be able to sustain that, but they're doing a good job just trying to keep as consistent as possible. Good job on surrounding garrisons too. I mean, I see some garrisons finally on the west side, which beforehand they were struggling with. It looks like he crashed.
Yeah, it looks like Madeira might have crashed.
I didn't realize.
And we'll go to Jackson in the meantime. This is unfortunately what kind of happens sometimes, but yeah, let's see if he's able to get back in. That'd be unfortunate if Madeira was able to lose, as we were just saying how important what he was doing was.
Oh man, that'd be such a bummer to see.
And it always
3-3 capturing apparently.
When you're
OP hot
out.
west.
The crashes don't happen when you're out in the middle of a field just trying to set up a perimeter garrison. It always happens when you're
RIP, west of RIP, west of RIP.
down something.
Got a manpower node here.
Got him. The garrison right after you capture it.
Just take it out.
Just their manpower node, yeah.
If it's self-dismantle,
yeah. There's
Poor guy getting disconnected. That's such a pain.
Yeah, that's.
I really hope the devs can fix it. I know they have that on their Jira boards for sure.
Oh, yeah, and they've been doing things trying to help it.
That's good.
It takes time, and us as gamers are impatient. Way too much.
He's able to get back in, thankfully, for Madeira and FEB. That's big, but
FEB was able to take down a garrison on the German side, which is good.
Yeah, T-Bone got a garrison taken
I can't
down.
tell, is that red zone or is that attacking? I couldn't see it.
The Lukes may have ended up in the trench.
Are you surprised? I mean, he was doing a good job of supporting his team, but this map is so hard to drive those light tanks in. Yeah, those trenches sneak up on you very quickly. Very, very quickly.
Yeah, Jackson's the only one live here right now, as everyone else still just kind of getting out of the spawn screen. SAS, really great job with their spawn situation. Just have Oleg's really nicely wrapped up and clean looking. FEB is a little bit more precarious of a situation, but they're finally starting to get a little bit more map control.
Probably call me right in the field on
for the Russians, you said?
Still haven't.
The Russians are starting to get a little bit more of that map control out to the west. That hopefully they can start controlling their blue line again, and bring it back to that stalemate sort of situation that they were building towards.
Yeah.
And so far the recovery is pretty good. They were slowly just pushing their way through, which is all they can really do. Looks like the Germans' main push now is going to be through that meat grinder straight north from Oleg's house. It looks like they've kind of let off the gas on that western push, and the Russians have really filled that space.
It looked like for sure there that listening post was going to be lost. So I mean, really great command structure there on the Soviet side, just like saying, okay, we need everyone back, and then everyone made sure that they got back and defended. So you don't want to think, okay, everyone else has it, and then all of a sudden it's something that you can't recover from. So great recovery there by FEB.
Oleg's.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it just flashed for a second.
Both points again. These teams are going back and forth, contesting at the exact same moments.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really tell how even match is with the cap weight. It's like every single time one starts going down, so does the other. Right now, it kind of seems like both teams' tanks have been removed a little bit from the main pushes here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like armor has really been playing a huge factor in a lot of these moments.
Yeah. Right now, it's given both teams a little opportunity to move around those trenches.
And T-Bone, if we swap over to him briefly, he's building up the garrison, or trying to get a garrison built in the red zone, so doing a little bit of a sport swap.
Going for a long-range rocket shot, Jackson is.
Yeah, we can go back to Jackson on more
I
action
can't see
right
what
now.
he's shooting at.
Soviets actually have a pretty decent push here on Oleg's.
Can't really tell what he's shooting at either there, Raz.
I think it might be a garrison or something. A garrison supplies. I don't know. Airhead or supplies going down? I can't tell either still.
Russians do have a good amount of ET guns set up across the field.
Yeah, and T-Bone is able to get on his OP, even though he lost it there at the same time. But it does look like the Russians have a pretty decent push going in some areas here. To the northwest of Oleg's, at least. And SAS did drop an airhead. Let's actually go to Jackson right here. SAS dropped an airhead northeast of listening post, and it is completely open. This is right by their garrison, which has gone down for FEB. So clear push into the point here for SAS coming off this airhead.
Yep. They just need to make sure they keep that airhead alive as long as they can, and just get as many bodies out, because it's not going to be there forever.
No, you can see the Soviets running towards it as you spawned on it, so yeah, they're aware.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough push coming from that angle for the Germans without really dedicating a lot of bodies to that and opening up the gates a little bit down in Oleg's.
Leroy Jenkins across the field.
Spawns in front of me somewhere.
Starting to
start the push. Is that the garrison he sees?
Spawn right here.
I think he sees it. Oh yeah, AT gun.
They need to get to that garrison.
Nice try in the long range. Panzerschreck is very difficult to shoot. Anything over than 50 meters.
I can't judge. I'm so terrible at shooting these.
You got it out there.
Well, it's not only the judgment. It's just like not being able to see anything. Like you literally have to ping it and then. Like
a lot of this game's not being able to see.
Shot in the back on the trench line.
It's silly.
Nice save, man.
People who are good at it are really just head and shoulders above the rest. Like it's insane what some of these people are able to accomplish in the league that I see on a week-to-week basis.
I'm not sure where they're contesting from.
The older I get, the worse I get at this game.
They're over half cap, pushing through this, taking OPs out.
In front of me, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah, almost half the cap.
This is the
they get the garrison.
fourth time they've gotten this half capped.
Yeah.
That's what got me. I think this time though they are like deep in there with a good amount of people.
Oh wow!
That push from behind is through right now. They're
man, look at Jackson right now behind the whole squad.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's on the spawn point too.
OP's gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's back up.
Only a matter of time before he finds that garrison. Took out, I think, 1 or 2 OPs.
I think the garrison might be down on the point.
Oh, behind us.
From
where the OP was.
Yeah, I think there's
one
behind us somehow.
And it looks like Madeira is pushing up behind them now, behind where Jackson came in from.
Yeah, good recovery. They're defending too.
Probably have just a reinforce on though.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
This was going to be really big for the Russians here.
Hey, it's down to 1-3.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackson down.
They've locked out that. I think they tried to get a Garrison up where the airhead was, maybe, and it's locked out. And they really don't have any attacking OPs around it, so their German attack is basically dead right now.
And E-Bone is still alive, but he's coming back to defend from the red line. Just trying to... Oh no, I'm sorry. He's on the strong point now, trying to get a garrison rebuilt for the team.
German armor is posting up too. I don't know if you saw it on the map. They're just behind the middle point, and then you have one on the right side. One on the right side of the middle point.
Yeah, and that tank actually takes out E-Bone as he was trying to build that garrison on the point, so they still do not have a defensive garrison.
IS-1.
Yeah, let's go to Jackson again. Jackson lobs a rocket. I think it's a T-34.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's two HEs.
Paul's calling RT and I'm listening.
Sniping shots.
That's a ricochet.
Oh, and they have more rockets down. Oh, he goes down immediately. Bloodbath.
I'm still so surprised they continue to bring tanks down the center.
Yeah, it doesn't work out too often. They just
maybe their HQ is getting camped by recon. It is a T-34, and
he's not gonna make it far.
Oh,
Jackson.
no.
Here, a tank. Right near Brad, there's a fucking tank ping like. Yeah.
It's not looking great. There it goes.
Yeah.
There it is. T-34 down. Jackson's combat effectiveness has got to be incredible.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Really
he's killed 3-4 tanks we've seen. 2 garrisons we saw.
Enemy OP down.
I'll get you another one up shortly, boys. We need to.
I can't count high enough.
No, and then the honors drop, sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he has been playing on offense quite a bit, right?
Dropped an enemy OP.
It comes with the territory, but I mean,
I knew what you meant.
Marking targets, he's consistently, where the armor's coming out of, so he's doing an overall great job with positioning, very consistently.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackson's war right now, if we're talking baseball, is very, very high. He's wins above replacement. He's crushing it for the team.
Yeah, man.
Russians have done a great job though with the recovery here. It looks like they completely control everything around listening post, like in the direct 4 squares.
The bottom left guy, I mean, he still has been just playing like ideal defense. Just ideal, like sweeping for any spawns. Like he's died a ton, but I mean, he's
keeping
cleared out. Yeah, no, absolutely, like consistent with supplies, working with the squad leader throughout this whole match. I mean, that is like how you play defense. A lot of people always say, like you don't see a lot of action in defense, but I would beg to differ there. There's quite a bit happening on defense.
Agreed.
If you play it well, he's doing a good job of it.
Yeah, if you're sitting in the strong point and waiting until you get cap pressure on you to do something, you're not playing. You might not see people that way, but if you're playing like Madeira is right now and sweeping and sticking to the strong points that the enemy has to come down, I mean, he's extremely effective with just like taking his moments and picking the environment that he's going to fight them in, because they're the ones that need to try to cap the objective from him. He doesn't need to go anywhere. Jackson, let's swap back to him. He's on another garrison.
Where are you?
The Russian. I'm trying to see where he is exactly. He looks like he's just to the west of the point.
Yeah, top left of the objective.
Of the road, isn't he?
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, fucking northwest here. I was behind me in the trench. He's in the other trench.
The Germans are starting to get a line of garrisons pretty far out there to the northwest of listening. So if they do cap, they'll have quick access to the last point.
I think
Russians did post out a garrison very far behind middle point, and are working on taking down a garrison, it seems, too.
And it looks like Jackson might be getting into a fight here with T-Bone, who's pushing.
Shit, Jackson just been dropped from behind you to my southeast, roughly.
Germans do have a heavy tank on windmills and a P4 behind Oleg's.
By himself.
Yeah, he's to the right.
I mean, it's in a great spot.
Just hit me. Yep.
Well, I mean, there was a Russian
southwest
tank
somewhere.
That's way west side of the map, and if they don't see that, it will get behind them.
Jackson found the Gary, and he
keep up garrison.
Oh. Gets hit.
Really, really tough push. I mean, it's a lot of open ground.
Yeah, it's going to be one garrison at a time. But if they do get marks on those garrisons, they have the tanks in place, especially that heavy on windmills. You can just snipe that thing from across the map. So as long as Jackson keeps marking them, they're probably going to go down pretty fast.
Looks like cap pressure has begun again on listening post. Just relentless pressure by SAS. And we're now with just 24 minutes left here.
Curious to see where this Russian armor is. Oh, Russian armor is on a heavy on the top left of the map. They're trying to swing all the way around. That might be a tank battle with, I think, a Tiger or Panther on the German side with the IS-1.
Yeah, I think so. I think those tanks are locked in on each other, just doing their own thing. There is a Russian light tank going down the west side of the map here. They're past windmills. So, I mean, if we use that thing right, they can take out that heavy on windmills pretty easily.
But there's like 2 other tanks protecting that tank. Like, they're far back there, right?
Yeah, it's possible. But, I mean, you can snipe that pretty easily from back there.
I'm curious to see what that German tank's point of view is, if he can see all the way left side, because he does seem like he's kind of tucked in next to the windmill.
The IS-1 is pushed down out of it at HQ now. I mean, that's
quite far, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's behind that log pile, possibly. Back there. So that's good cover for that, I guess, if it's going for that tank on windmills. Both these tanks are gonna not really be involved here. I mean, we don't hear any tanks shooting. You don't see any tanks hitting around listing posts, so they're essentially both out of the game. Kind of focus on each other.
Oh, watch out, Jackson! You're getting quite close to it.
Quarter cap here, still putting on the pressure onto the Russians. My God!
If we move on point, we should cap now. With these.
We're losing right now.
It's still FEB is able to keep both of those garrisons up still on both sides of the objective. So even though it looks like we're at cap pressure, it's easily recoverable for FEB.
Yeah.
They've definitely come back from worse.
Yeah, they're already.
They're in this other trend.
That's where they're coming from. Can you see my mark there?
Destroyed loads of guys.
I think this is gonna just be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't see.
Just right in front of you there, Jackson, just over the crest. That's what it should be. Is that our supplies coming in?
That we were talking about at the beginning of the match to the east.
What's that?
Kill 2 in that trench.
So that could be big for them and helping us push here, especially those 2 heavies are preoccupied. It'll give it free reign.
What just came down?
For the Germans.
Supply drop south of listening post.
It is very close back and forth. I mean, it's good that it's very, very even.
Russians might have a reinforced throwdown if they haven't already. I don't remember how long ago it was since the last one.
I think Jackson may have found another outpost or garrison. He started getting his rocket out, trying to pump some rounds in. He is just destroying right now. Doing a good job.
Yeah, it looks like he still has his outpost right over there too, which is where FEB's garrison is just by. So yeah, he's probably just swapping to rockets here, or I don't know if he just swapped to. Yeah, he swapped to satchel for the MP40.
I mean, it seems like the MP40 is kind of his gun. He's doing a lot more consistent with it. The problem is, like, he can't tag those garrisons from a little ways away.
That P4 is now just hit, or no, that's a heavy. It's not even a P4. So they have a heavy over by Oleg. That's
three-quarters cap
there as well.
Yeah, that heavy that's been able to move up because the other 2 tanks on the west side of the map are occupied has really helped us this push for the Germans here.
This is going to be it. I think they are going to go ahead and cap this. I don't think they can recover. They do have enough garrisons.
Down, but I don't think they have enough bodies close to the point. They gotta get
it's going to be tough.
Empire, where are you?
It is so close. I think they got it here. This will be it. And they will wipe all the spawns. Good job by the Germans.
Oh, Russians, shot from northwest, boys. Northwest.
God, there was a giant explosion. Holy shit. The Russians, gonna fall back. I mean, they were doing a great job for so long, but again, it's just a war of attrition when they, can't outplace garrisons.
Get Gary up if we can.
Really with a good hole unless he posts
And like you mentioned, they have those garrisons that were perfectly set up to be able to just immediately get in there, and FEB is forced to spawn their HQs since their middle is locked out and have their garrisons.
Mate, we need to get Gary up on that
run for
quickly.
them, and the Germans are in between
Squad lead here.
in that middle.
Shout him. Just find one.
There, because an airhead that went out. So everyone that spawned at that left HQ is.
Crawford's coming in. Crawford's coming in.
So that's gonna
Yeah,
be
this might be the game here for FEB after putting up such an incredible fight
Just
for
fucking blitzkrieg there, last
over
point.
an hour.
I think it's gonna be. It looks like the Germans have enough bodies in that point. They just have to be in there for another minute and survive, with infantry coming from either side of them. But it's not going to be easy for the Soviets to get back in that point right now. And there's no reinforced.
Now we're over half cap.
Yeah.
I mean, just an incredible match. This was extremely even the whole way through for both these teams. I mean, every time that there was cap progress on one, there was a cap progress on the other objective at the same time. So finally, the stalemate was broken. It was kind of trending that way with SAS just whittling them down, but looks like they're able to finally break in and now opportunistically go for the 5 cap.
Agreed. Pretty quick capture here on the last point, but overall, I mean, I think both teams
they are stopped up here.
They're defending.
They're defending.
They are defending. It ain't over till it's over.
I think overall, though, both teams have been doing just an excellent job. I mean, I think that this is an absolute lesson in defense. I mean, they held it for so long, and that defense crew was just instrumental. If the offense was able to go ahead and get just enough getting around that point, I think they would have had a pretty close game there, closer than it was.
Looks like they're able to reset pretty good though. I mean, FEB is like not going out without a fight by any means.
17 minutes left.
Getting all bodies back. I mean, they've had they completely give up any sort of push on listening posts to save the game right there. They have 0 in attack right now. It's all hands on deck for the last point here.
Yeah, and SAS is back to attacking pressure. Jackson is making his presence felt over here now on Grushki.
They're capping again.
Yep.
Almost halfway cap here.
Jackson's taking out OPs on his way down, taking out MGs.
As he does. Jackson easily MVP here.
Oh, yeah.
Northwest.
And it's flashing again.
Oh,
he is a monster with this MP40, I will tell you what.
A lot of control over his firing right now. It's really impressive.
Hey, just tapping people.
Point just going back and forth. This is going to come over to people like
I would, but I'm really not in a good place putting it there.
It seriously is. Every time he kills one, progress goes from
that left side there is fucked.
Capturing.
Yeah.
It's really about whoever's in the strong point killing each other. And that's where this is flipped.
They can't put a reinforcer now, so they
for the Germans.
will probably cap this.
Germans, I think, are just easily going to lock this in.
I
don't think
better
the
than that
Russians
garrison that's northwest.
hold it.
I'm staying on this northwest because we've got people moving from it. That's why they're pushing.
8 seconds left to spawn, but
they locked it out.
They got locked out. So
yeah, I think this will be at 3/4 cap. Wrapping it on up. Good job by both teams.
Incredible match. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, really good.
I have to agree. Jackson's gonna have to get the MVP.
Yeah, we got this. GG's boys.
GG's.
I'm interested to see how much his offensive effectiveness is. Good game. There it is.
Yeah.
That's all she wrote.
Let's see what Jackson finished with. I'm curious as well. 1,000 combat score. Over 1,000 combat score.
44 is infantry. Holy cow.
77 kills, 6 tanks, 3 garrisons. What a game.
Really good job. Kicks ass.
Yeah, a lot of good plays in there from people. And I mean, just the defense, what they were doing, how many times they can recover like that, you don't see that pretty often.
Yeah, I think their defense was just insane. Very well done. Very mindful the entire time of putting those supplies up. Even when the bombing runs came through, like timing it the moment that bombing run is over, putting that garrison up. So really good job by the defense team, honestly.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, this Raz and Fresh, you got to join us more often. It seems like every time you guys show up, first of all, we're always on Kursk for some reason, and second of all, it's always a great game. So I appreciate you guys joining here for this one. This was a awesome match. These two teams are definitely two teams to keep an eye out for this season. for all you people in the People's League. So definitely excited to see more.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here. If everyone wants us back, we're happy to come over and hang out. I mean, I know we don't play console that much, but happy to do what we can to help out and bring more awareness to the console scene.
Yeah, and if we get these servers going, like where we can have private servers and run these events, like how Fresh does with the tank event and other things like that, always welcome to join with us. It'd be a pleasure to have you and kind of show you our side of the game here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes life much easier. Hopefully it happens soon.
Yeah, I agreed. Do you guys have any final takeaways, notes here? Raz, Fresh, James?
No, I mean I'm always impressed with how much effort and love you guys put in the console community. It's insane. I don't think many people would put up with so many hurdles that you guys have to jump through for this. So it's really cool to see, man. And you guys honestly put a lot of effort in this, and cool to see so many people be supportive of that. It's a lot harder to do on this on console than it is on PC. So
yeah, definitely agreed. It's cool to see such a committed community, and we're happy to just be a small part of that wheel. I mean, Killa putting so much work into the production here. You guys just kicking ass all the time, and I mean the teams again. I know we call out good and bad plays, and people get pissed off when we call out bad plays. But I mean, there's good and bad plays all the time. We all do it. So it's just cool to see the different types of styles people use on console that maybe you don't see necessarily all the time on PC, just given the limitations of the platform itself on controller, right, versus a mouse and keyboard. But really, really impressive, and huge shout out to all the team members today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are two teams that are newer to the the competitive scene, but definitely playing the game at a high level.
They did great. They did really, really good. Honestly.
Yeah, it was great.
Very impressed.
James, you got any last notes?
Not really. Y'all about covered it.
Well, I just want to say, thanks for everyone for joining us, Raz, Fresh. It's always a pleasure having you, James. Thanks for joining up with us, Killa, as always in the booth, doing what you do. It's always appreciated. Couldn't do it without you. And especially thank you to our streamers, again, as always, Jackson, Noble, Madeira, and T-Bone. We couldn't watch it without you, and everyone played extremely well. So congratulations to SAS and FEB. You put up in a tremendous fight, and it's definitely something to be proud about. So on behalf of the People's League stream, just want to say thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next one.